Boo boo. Oh, crap, I forgot to change the title. Crappy crap. Um, Hello, guys. What's up, Murdoch? What's up, my little gamer? How are you? Let me just get adjusted here. Let me change this title, by the way. So we're going to do something a little different this time, guys. We're going to be a little topical. And then we'll get to work. But everything's good on your end, guys? You can hear me? Everything's good? Let's see. No, we're not finishing thumbnail and audio adjustments. We're not doing that. Okay, that is better. Reflecting on 5 episodes of Secular Talk Animated and starting a new project, which is obviously Kyle and Corn. Came back from PUBG. Did you kick ass, bro? Did you kick ass? Everything seems great. Sure. Finishing up Kyle. I see what you did there. Let's see. Let me spread the word that the stream is live and all that stuff. I selected a different playlist this time. It's chill music. Chill, non-copyrighted music. So we're going to see how that is. Let me just see. You're going to hear an echo, but... Okay. I heard myself, and that's all I need to know. We got 5 people here. That's cool. Okay. Just bear with me, guys. Just see. So my thinking is, if you guys don't know, I do. Actually, I did a. I did a bunch of vlogs for about life of an animator, which were obviously like little update videos. And I haven't been doing those lately. And ever since we did We were talking about Endgame. We were talking about different like movies and topical stuff. I've been thinking like I can bring that back, but instead of like sitting down by myself and you know, trying to figure like the script, like talking points and all that. I figure I just do it here, do it for you guys, and then just cut it up and create some content from it. Because I want to do this more. I posted on Twitter and YouTube that I want to do this more consistently. And the only way to do that is to have a set schedule and to announce it to the world. So I announced I'm gonna do one every day this week, Monday through Thursday, around this time. And yeah, we'll just chill. We'll talk about stuff, and I'll do some work as well, and you know the normal shit. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, cool. So it's out on Twitter. Let me do the YouTube real quick, and then we'll get to it. So we're gonna talk about my thought process behind the first 5 or I guess 5.5 episodes of the Secular Talk cartoon. How it came to be, and I guess like my, you know, what I was thinking for each episode. So we'll spend some time doing that, and okay, cool. Videos, let me see, because I think it's been like 2 years since I did that first episode. Let me see. 2 years ago. Damn, that was 2 years ago. Okay. New Call of Duty game is anti-Russian propaganda. I heard it's no Russian in the game, pretty much. It's just gonna be like very controversial scenes. Like they have some child, like some children in the military or some shit. Modern Warfare, yeah. They're probably gonna be invading Russia or some crazy thing like that. Okay. Actually, I like this music. It is very chill. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get started. Before we do work, we're gonna talk about the episode. So I'll probably have like the thumbnail of the episode I'm talking about, and then I'll play the episode in the background. So yeah, and we'll just get started with that. So it's been 2 years since I did this, and it's kind of crazy how it came to be. Like I was just at work, and I just kind of wanted to animate something, because like for the longest time, like I just wanted to animate. Like I had so many ideas. I have a book literally written like with different notes and things like that I could be doing, like whether it be gaming or whatever I was interested in at the time. And I don't know, I just like I started like watching a lot of TYT. Elevator Hal, how you doing? If you get my van, no, I don't want to serve in Pikachu. I have my own server in Pikachu. Thank you very much. You're a stranger. I don't trust you. Leave me alone. I'm scared. But yeah, at the time I was watching a lot of TYT, and then I found out about Secular Talk, and I kind of, over the years, I kind of preferred Kyle's method of like, you know, discussing politics, and I kind of gravitated more. Like even now, like I kind of don't watch as much TYT anymore. I watch mostly him, and then I'll get my news from like other sources and everything. But I don't know, like I was just thinking to myself, like I watch these every day, and I follow Joe Rogan like a lot of people do, and I noticed Joe Rogan has like a cartoon series that somebody, like, it's a fan, I assume, makes it, and like all these other big names that have a cartoon. And Kyle never really, he had never, you know, I've seen some fan art, actually not too much fan art, but I've seen like, you know, the shirts he does and everything, but I haven't seen like a cartoon series or like anything revolving around it. I think I even like searched it in the YouTube search engine. I'm like, Secular Talk fan art cartoon. Like, I didn't really see anything, so I'm like, why don't I do this? I watch this every day. Like, I literally don't miss an episode. I have material, like, you know, he does good, decent impressions and talks about like very interesting things, and, you know, gives his opinion on it. Like, it's like a gold mine of content. Like, literally, I have let me see what the number is. Actually, I'll see it here. Let me see. I have an ideas folder, and I've shown this before, but it's 418 different segments that I thought at the time of watching was like, oh, this could be for a good episode. And I started I had this model. This model you guys see here, it's my model. It's my dude. It's, you know, I'll go in and change it based on like the person that I'm talking about. So I guess at the time, like, I looking back at this, like, I finished the Corn model, and I think Corn looks pretty good. I think it looks like Corn. This one, you know, it looks like Kyle, but like Kyle doesn't really have any distinctive features really. It's just like spiky hair. He's a white dude. He's got a little stubble, you know. He wears a suit, you know, kind of thing. So I made a quick model, and I'm happy with this. Like, I was kind of happy with the time. So I tweeted it to him because the only reason I'm on Twitter was to send fan art for other creators that I found, you know, interesting. I'm like, hey, actually I would use this model and make them, and I would send them like, hey, this is you. I made this for you. You know, this is cool. And like most of them like would reply back, oh, that's awesome. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Not expecting anything, but I'm just like, hey, I want to share this because I worked hard on it, and, you know, I enjoy what you do. And, like, you know, give a little shout out, give a little something back for you. And I think I have the image. Let me see if I have the image. Oh my god, it was so long ago. I can't go on Twitter. Let me see. This is when here we go. Here, I have a separate. This is how organized I am. I have updates for each episode. Okay, wait, I don't have it. But it was just pretty much this image right here, more or less. Like, it's just him looking down at his computer, and yeah, I just sent it to him, like, Secular Talk, the cartoon series. Love your shit. That's all I said. Not really expecting much, because I feel like when I'm not really a person to do something and expect anything back. I try not to. But, you know, he retweeted it. He's like, yo, this is awesome. And then people in the comments were like, yo, make this into a cartoon. Make this in the cartoon. I'm like, I'm way ahead of you. I'm working on it. And that was kind of cool. That was really cool. I'm like, you know, the most satisfying thing for like a designer, a creative, an artist, whatever, is that people are excited to see what you do next. That's why I appreciate you guys a lot, because a lot of you guys are like, when's the next one? Are you guys even here? Like we have 5 people here. Like, some people might say like, that's not that many people, but to me it's like 5 people in the world. Like, we have Murdoch from goddamn Finland, like, just chilling with us and just watching my shit, like, coming here every time I do this. Like, it's incredible. So I started working on it, and then obviously the first episode had to do with weed, because at the time he was constantly talking about how he gets paranoid with weed. So I'm like, let me show that. And then how do I show that? I'm like, at the time, I think it was 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, so it's like around 2017. So this was like, after the election, I believe. Yeah, I believe so. And Bernie was a big figure in in the world at the time, and so was Trump. So, and then this was like when after Trump was saying all these nutty things, and then Bernie was saying his own stuff, and I'm like, why don't I have him smoke weed and get like mega paranoid and just start hearing voices in his head? Like that's what kind of something that happens when you get paranoid. You hear voices in your head, or you're just like, and yeah, so I did that duality. I did the Trump being the paranoid side of him, and then Bernie being the side of him that like enjoys being high, pretty much, which is it just relaxes you and all that stuff. It makes you hungry, and let me just do that. And so this was my first real long formed, well thought out, storyboarded, elements created animation that I've ever done. Like this is the first real, and I've done animations in the past. There is one animation I've done. You guys could probably find it if you really looked at it in my channel. Like it's horrendous. It's a Super Mario animation, and I'm just like, it's really shitty. The audio just isn't really well synced, or well, just like, it's just not good. And I'm still proud of it, but it was it's obviously growing pains, because I feel like I've grown from that like immensely. So I was happy with this. Like looking back at this, like it's very simple. It's very very static. He's just kind of sitting in one place. He's shaking his arms if he's like discussing something, and obviously the mouth movements, the fucking lip syncing. That was something that I, when I first did this, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna take forever. Then over time, like, it just kind of got easier and easier. And it's easy, but it's just very, very goddamn tedious. As most of you guys already know. So like looking back, I could, move his head a little bit more. I can make him do a little more stuff, because he's just kind of sits there and he smokes a joint, and he falls because he's hearing stupid shit, or he's hearing something he likes. So I could do this better, and more stuff could happen. But at the time and where I was, like, I'm happy with it. I feel like like this scene is kind of, he did that for too long. Like I just like critique in my head. I'm like, oh my god, he did this he did this little thing for way too long. I feel like he could have done more. But yeah, and I also put audio into it. Like, I had to cut the audio, edit the audio, so I was like, and sync it with like what was happening. So I'm pretty proud of this. Like I think it's cringy, because it's your first thing, like your first piece of artwork, your first piece of whatever that you hope to improve with is going to be cringy. Like everyone's first YouTube video is cringe. Like you're not going to speak perfectly. You're not going to whatever. But yeah, so I ended up sending this to him, and he's like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. I'm like, yeah, like I'm glad you like it. That's awesome. And then like I got like a lot of people following me from this, like, and they were like, oh, what's the next one? What's the next one? What's the next one? So that positive reinforcement like really like pushed me, like, do this more, man. Do this more. Then I didn't really think about this long term. I guess I kind of did, because it's like a series. And I guess why I call it the anime series, because like I grew up on like shows called like X-Men the anime series, Spider-Man the anime series, or whatever. So why not just do like an animated series? And it's a series for a reason. Like there's continuity a little bit, there's some cameos in like later ones, and from early ones, but I have a long-term plan with this one. If I keep it up, and like my house doesn't burn down, like I lose my computer or something, like I plan on continuing this. but yeah, this was this one. I thought it was well thought out. Like at the end, he has oatmeal raisin cookies because he's under the influence and he's hungry, and like he's constantly says like, I love oatmeal raisin. They're the best thing on earth. Like I've never had them. I have had them. I don't think they're the best thing in the world, but you know, this is kind of the benefit I had from like watching him so much. I'm like, or I guess why people like him so much. It's like he just relates to people because he's like authentic. Like he'll just say like, I love oatmeal raisin cookies, goddammit. So I'm like, he said this like at least multiple times. So I'm like, okay, he probably really likes them. So like, what would be a snack that he reaches for? It has to be oatmeal raisin cookies then. So I guess I think about it like that in depth with these kind of things. Like the little I like the little details. There's a great video on YouTube about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's by Christian. It's like a video essay. It's like Christian Capperson or something. Captain Christian or something. It's a great piece about Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is a mixture of live animation with or live action with animation. So like an animated character like interacting with like a person. And it kind of talks about like a principle of animation where like it's like the little details. Like going above and beyond for those little details, even if not that many, even if it's for like 5 seconds or like a slight, most people won't notice it, but the ones that do, like that's the most impact. And like that kind of inspired me a little bit to, you know, focus on the little details, because little details matter. Because if you look at this segment is, or actually this is not a segment, this was a segment about him talking about his paranoia, where I literally have audio of him and I have to create a story. Like that's all I have. I have a story. I'm not going to go to him and be like, yo, can you say this line? Can you say this word? No, I have to work with what I have. So that's kind of how I tackled it. And yeah, I obviously, you know, I had to search for all the Trump and Bernie audio. Like that took a while, but it all worked out, and I'm really happy with it. And I think there's a lot of funny moments for fans, like fans who are like me, who like watch him all the time. Like you'll get the little references. You'll get the fact that like, yeah, he's paranoid, he's flipping out, but like he gets up at the fact of hearing Trump talk about bombing civilians, because that was like, one of Trump's biggest, or I guess non-controversial statement that he made that the media just kind of like, oh, whatever. But like it affected him. So I'm like, okay, he hears it, like he's gonna snap out of it, you know what I mean? So that was my thinking with it. That's kind of like how I thought about it. Like what would get him out of it? Like, and that just made more sense to me. So so that's pretty much this episode. You know, it's my first attempt, and I think it started off something pretty cool. So we're gonna talk about next one. We're gonna talk about the next one actually. Let me see, and I'll get to your guys' messages. The Ted Cruz one, the infamous Ted Cruz one. And this is all gonna go on YouTube, so I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this out. I see some new people here, so I'm gonna cut this out. Cut this whole, like, you know, talking about each episode thing to YouTube if you missed like the beginning of it or whatever, or if you want to see the whole thing in context, because I want to make more content as you guys like wait for stuff, because animation takes a long time, as you know. All right, let me get to your message real quick. By the way, the first song in this stream was pretty perfect for the background for that story, or any. This time I got really violent without my lodge. Yeah, this is a chill playlist, so I assume it'll be more relaxed. I actually like this play. I usually play a jazz playlist. So it is refreshing to try different things. This time I got violent without my lodge. Yes, Pikachu. Yes. I want a surfing Pikachu. Damn it. I'll do anything for it. I feel like Joe Rogan is a very ignorant, calm, and progressive. Joe Rogan. I feel like Joe Rogan. He just kind of. He doesn't really. He's not a really political guy. He kind of makes that apparent. Every time he talks to someone political, like he's not really, in the political scene. He just kind of talks to people who are, who are commentators or whatever. So, and I feel like the most interesting Joe Rogan episodes are the one where he talks to like a scientist or what's that guy's name? The Tesla guy. Wow, he's blanking. What's that guy's name? What the hell's the dude that did the Teslas? I'm like totally blanking. He smoked a joint on the thing. Wow, I'm really blanking right now. But that dude, you guys know who I'm talking about. Yeah, those are the most interesting. Or he talks like a sleep expert, or like someone talking about like archaeology. Like those are the most interesting episodes. Or comedians, like his wheelhouse, like something that he's really passionate about. Secular Park, yes, I've heard that a lot. South Park has been a huge inspiration to me because it's very simple. And I kind of want to take that approach, like, if they can be simple, why can't I be simple? I was gonna ask why Secular Talk. Yeah, I mean, Catherine, if you weren't here in the beginning, pretty much I would watch him every day. And why not animate him? Why not Kyle? By the way, could you play those animations with sound on as well? Maybe the verified explanation mainly. That's because have I got to binge them before the stream? Yeah, I'll actually do that. That's a good point. We'll watch the episode before I talk about them, and in the background I'll keep it mute and repeat it. Yeah, so I'll do that for the second one. The first one's mostly talking, and mostly just character reaction. So somebody got the munchies. Yeah, see, you get the munchies if you smoke the J. Trump is cocaine. Bernie Sanders. I agree. You did get better over time. I can tell you. Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely. Elon Musk. Yes, that's the name. God damn. Thank you, Austin. I don't know why he blanked for a sec. I was gonna say Nikola Tesla, but I'm like, no, that's not his name. Yeah, I look back at like the Tommy episode, and we'll go over that too. That I'm really happy with how it looks now. Like I can, again, I was talking about I did the Corrin model. I'll show you guys Corrin in animated form, in my animated form after this. But after doing that, I kind of want to upgrade the Kyle model a little bit to make it a little more distinctual, because it's kind of just a dude with spiky hair. Yeah, so we'll figure that out. But yeah, I'm really happy with like where I've been going so far with these cartoons, because I've been learning and getting better. So that's a good thing if you keep doing it. The Wii one was so funny. Yes, thank you very much. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. A lot of planning too. Let me see. Which Kyle will give you funding for this cartoon? We more political cartoons. Yeah. So I do this for fun. I make no money. Actually, there was a time like last year, I think, before YouTube changed its policy, where you needed it was something like you needed 1,000 subscribers, which I had at the time. And then, but you needed like a certain amount of views in a year and over time. And I was not getting that, because at the time I was just putting animations out, and they were getting like a couple thousand, but not too much. But that was the only thing I was really pumping out. And I wasn't really doing these live streams. And these live streams don't get that many views, but it's fine. I'm doing this just to hone my craft pretty much. But eventually I'd like to see what I can do about that down the line. But for now, I'm just having fun doing it. Like, I do this after my job, and currently looking for a new job, but I'm still funded in other ways. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see, because I have plans down the line. I have plans down the line. So if you guys stick around, we'll see. We'll work it out. Yeah, Millennial Gamer agrees with Elevator Hell about more political cartoons. Yeah, so I'm jumping right into Colin Corn, and then after that I have big ideas for 7, as I've said. So for Secular Talk 7. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, having a good time doing these live streams more. Want to be more consistent. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the music for a sec. We're gonna just watch this Ted Cruz one, and in all its glory, and then we'll I'll reflect on it. But this is Ted Cruz.
So Ted Cruz picked his vice president yesterday. That's right, in April, which makes no sense, and nobody does, and nobody cares. That's actually not true. There are people in the mainstream media who care, but they shouldn't, and I'll explain why they shouldn't. So he went with Carly Fiorina. Carly Fiorina. Why? Nobody knows. Not a single pundit can tell you, oh, that's a good choice for reasons X, Y, and Z. So Fiorina, of course, got her ass handed to her in this election. I'm Ted Cruz. Meh. Again, this pick makes no sense in a variety of different ways, but most of the coverage left out one very important fact. Ted Cruz is mathematically eliminated from winning the nomination. Like, I think that's kind of important. The dude is mathematically eliminated, and he's like, okay, here's my VP. I want everybody to know that. What's wrong with you? This is a campaign that's flailing in the wind. It's flailing in the wind, and it hurts my brain to think about it because it makes sense in so many ways. I'm Ted Cruz. Me. I'm Ted Cruz. Me. I'm Ted Cruz. Me. I'm Ted Cruz. Whiny voice. Me. Things. Stuff. Iran is bad.
I know 2 girls that I just adore. I'm so happy I can see them more. 'Cause we travel on the bus all day. We get to play. We get to play.
What the fuck was that?
I'm Ted Cruz.
Secure the border, me.
All right, that's the second one. So yeah, let's talk about this one, cuz this one was very much requested. People would talk about let me get the music going. People would talk about like, oh, well, the first thing I would hear people say is like, when's the Ted Cruz one? I'm like, that's the one I gotta do. I gotta do Ted Cruz. And then Seltzer. People obviously talk about the Seltzer, but I got to that eventually. We'll go to that. But this one I turned around in like a month, I believe, of the last one premiering. Yeah, this one was also 2 years ago. Let me see real quick. The first one was June 30th, 2016. Wow, it's going to be 3 years. It's not 2, it's going to be 3. Holy crap. End of this month. Wow. So, and I believe the Ted Cruz one was September. So like 3 months roughly. I think I don't think I worked on this right after. I think I was planning it, and the planning stage is always the hardest. Because I want it to be good. I want it to be funny. I want it to be interesting. I want it to be well researched. And I think I worked on this all of August, and it took me like roughly a month of just nonstop going at it. And I think it's a little better than the first one, animation-wise. It's still very simple and very static because, like, you know, as he's talking, he just kind of sits there. And I wish I made like his head move a little bit and, you know, his arms flail a little bit. Because there's a lot of lip sync and there's a lot of exposition here. But I still think it like builds up to something, you know, instead of like being like a recreation of a segment. You know, things happen. I'm like, the thought process with these were always, what if he's doing his segments? What if he's talking about what he's talking about in real life? And then obviously I'll have the freedom of animation to be like, you know, what if Ted Cruz is flailing right next to him? Like, what would he do? What would Ted Cruz do? So that's kind of how I tackled this one. Like, you're talking shit about Ted Cruz in his flailing campaign. You know, what if he's actually flailing? What if what if his character is just a flail? So I kind of went with that, and obviously the sound effects, the Ted Cruz, the me's, like, I remember doing the audio for this episode, and I had a separate file for just the Ted Cruz audio, and it was like a minute of just different impressions of the me. And it was just like the funniest thing ever. Like, I would just replay it. And like, eventually I got it stuck in my head. I'm like, you smirk at it, but it's not as funny anymore because you just hear the same thing over and over and over again. So that I think was a good development of his character. And I have plans for Ted Cruz, the model or the character, for him to evolve and change as time goes, but we'll get there. And obviously we have Carly Fiorina, you know, here, kind of like as her running mate, and being the creep that she is. So within the segment, obviously she was talking about or there was actually in the segment he posted a video about her, like, very creepily, like, singing to children, and the audio is obviously in this episode. But I'm like, you know, what if she was also part of it, because that's very creepy, you know. And it just all kind of like fell together. It's like, what if Ted Cruz is flailing in the office? What if Ted Cruz attacks him for you know, just for making fun of him? And then what if Carly Fiorina comes up, does that singing behind the blowjob, what do you call it? You call it like the blowjob sauna screens or whatever. I assume they're transparent. I made them transparent, so that is what it is. And she starts singing, and the flower is obviously reference to the segment itself. Like, I always recommend people to watch the segments before the cartoons. You know, obviously I can't force people to do that, but like, if you want to get the jokes, if you want to get the in jokes, if you want to know where I'm coming from, like, you watch the segment that I post or that I'm referring to beforehand, so you get it. So obviously, like, you know, he talks about, like, you know, a Twitter comment said something like, "Oh, every plant in my house just died from her singing." So, what if I had a plant? At one point I wanted a plant just like sitting here somewhere, but like it didn't really fit, because, you know, obviously they're fighting and they're wrestling, but like I don't know where a plant would fit. You know, it's a studio. So what if Carly's just like holding a flower for whatever reason? I don't know what the reason would be. And she's just singing, and then it just dies, like, after you start singing. Like, there's a lot of like dead silence in this episode, which I think I definitely improved on. A lot of people in the comments were actually saying, like, you know, there's a lot of dead air, you know, try to fix it up. I'm like, And I took that criticism to heart. I'm like, not to heart, to like, as like constructive. Or I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I guess I wasn't seeing it because I looked at this for months and weeks. And you don't really pick up on that stuff because you made it. It's like pretty much like if you develop an application for like a phone or whatever, and then you, the designer or developer, are asked to test it. I'm like, you wouldn't really catch on other things that people would see because you've developed it, you made it. So it was good to see that, and it's gonna be something else that I want to push for like further content because like animations take us so long. I want to do like a separate video for like reading comments of the cartoon. So I'm gonna push that for the Ann Coulter one. And it doesn't have to be. I don't want to be like sucking my own dick for these comments. Like, oh, people are saying like, oh, it's great, or oh, it's bad. That's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like constructive criticism, for just comments, general comments about it. And I'm gonna push that for the Ann Coulter episode. So if you guys, if you see it and you notice anything or you see something I can improve upon, like constructively, like I would love to hear that stuff. So that's what I'm going to push. So like where I'll have like obviously the animation itself, and I'll have a separate video of that animation where I'm just reading the comments. Or actually, we'll do it here. We'll do it like this in this, we'll give the animation like a week to like fester and people will comment on it and whatever. And then we'll go here and then we'll read the comments. I'll get constructive criticism. I'll get like good comments, bad comments, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. And then I'll make content from that. So that's really what I'm trying to push with this. As I said before. What else? Yeah, so this next scene took forever. So again, with Kyle, like I feel like I need to upgrade the Ted Cruz model, and the elevator hell says I need to upgrade the beard. Yeah, he does have a creepy beard now, so maybe I could add that or just make his features a little distinct because he looks a little young here. I think here he looks a little closer to Ted Cruz, and then the Ann Coulter episode that's coming up. Yeah, here. The Ann Coulter episode that's coming up, I feel like it's I have this face and it's a little more like Ted Cruz. So that's something I need to improve upon with the models and everything, because I think they're a little simple, but I think you get it, Yeah, this scene right here took forever. So he's basically throwing him against the sauna. Apparently it's glass because he's just like annoying him. He's driving him crazy. Yeah, this scene, so I had to do two separate things. I had to do here is the background for the screen, the sauna screen or whatever you want to call it. It's just one image. But to make it like shatter like that, I had to like create another image, which was basically this. I had to create this image and then just like have little pieces. Wait, where is it? Hold on. Yeah, so here's the same image. Then bam, new image. And then all these little pieces, all these little pieces of the glass. In the form of like that circle or that Marky's making on the glass door. Oops, wait. Yeah, so all the glasses just shattered, going different. So these are individual elements. So like every little piece of glass I have to animate itself. So like I have to like do this one piece. Where is it going? It's going out there. This other piece. It was like 20 pieces or something I did. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I didn't need to do that, but I wanted it to look authentic. Because you hardly see it. Yeah, like you hardly see the glasses, or the glass, because he's like kind of in the way. But I think for effect, the effect is still pretty good. But it took a long time. It took a while. It took longer than I thought too. And I guess that's also part of like me still learning it and everything. He gives him the finger. I don't know if a lot of people call it that because it looks like a lump on his finger. But yeah. And then obviously he breaks his little thing. And if you notice in further episodes going down, this is like taped together. His mic he has to tape up his mic because of this. So it's just little things like that that I wanted to keep doing with that. And did people notice it? Probably not, but I did, and I think it's really good. I wish I had like a sound effect for him hitting him, but I just had the me. And then Carly Fiorina, obviously, like she gets away, but I want to use her for something else, but like she's kind of irrelevant at this point. Irrelevant at this point. Unless she runs for president again, which I doubt, but she could be an ally to the Ted Cruz cause. So we'll see. She's been established in one way or another. Actually, I was going to establish her as a witch. I was going to make her have green skin, have a hat, but I don't think it would have been that. I feel like it would have been noticeable because like you know her voice through the screen door, but I don't know. I like character arc, so I would make her. I guess lean into that witchness, that Wizard of Oz witchness that I was thinking about. So who knows? There's plenty of potential. And then this last shot of Ted Cruz was pretty great. I had an extra audio clip, and I'm like, yeah, I need to use this clip, and like I guess I'll use the clip at the end. Like it just works out. It just all worked out. Like everything I had like worked out. Like that's why I kind of like the fact that I'm just using the audio from the episode or from the segment, so I have a 10-minute focus. I have 10 minutes of audio. What am I gonna do with it in the best way possible? And I think I did pretty good with this one. I actually like this episode better than the first. I was actually pretty proud of it too. Let me see. Is there anything else? I think I pretty much went over. Yeah, it took me like a month or so to do. It was actually really fast turnout because I released the first one in June, this one in September. But this is pretty simple. So I thought I could have done it faster actually, but it turned out to be a little more involved. This whole scene with him, like wrestling with him, took a little bit because it has to be timed. It has to be like I have to match Kyle's reaction to what Ted Cruz is doing to him. You know, he's lifting him up. Like I'm like, how is it gonna work? He's just holding him back, and he gets back on him, like jumping on his neck for whatever reason. And then like I'm like, how is this gonna work? How's this gonna work? So yeah, I think it came out pretty well. So yeah, that's the Ted Cruz episode. So next we're gonna talk about 3, which is probably my favorite episode. I really like how 3 came out, but we'll get into that. Let me see. God, it's so nice being organized. It's so nice. Everything's at my fingertips. Okay, so we'll watch the episode. Let me read your messages first, and then we'll watch the episode, and I'll reflect on it because this is the longest animation I think I've ever done. I think this is the longest one. Let me see. 1 second, dude. Let's see. 3 minutes. Yeah, this is the longest one. This is the first longest, or the longest. And then the first episode is 5 minutes. But this has way more animation to it. So I'm a crazy man for trying to do this. But let me see what you guys are saying. Yeah, elevator hell, no rush, have fun with videos. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. I guess would it be nice to make money off, your hobby? It would be nice, but I'm not chasing money. I'm chasing to improve on something that I love to do and I want to do, as a job one day. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see. Corn's conspiracies would be dope. Corn does talk about conspiracies a lot. I have obviously the first idea for the first one for Colin Corn. That one's gonna be about Wolf Blitzer. You guys will see. It'll be about Wolf Blitzer's YouTube channel. I think it'll be pretty funny. But yeah, I have other ideas, but I don't know if I have one about Kyle's or Corn's conspiracies. I don't know yet. I have to see. Maybe I could ask people like, what do you think would be a funny one? What's a funny segment? Let's see. Yeah, update the Ted Cruz beard. I will do that. Yang 2020. Thunder Horse, how you doing, man? Sure. I don't think he'll get it, but I think he'll be a good voice in the primary. And in the national stage, I think he'll be a great voice to hear. Do you have a Yang cartoon that says math? No plans on a Yang cartoon yet. It could change, but as of right now, not yet. Give Ted Cruz a Canadian tie. Has he worn a Canadian tie? I always see him with like blue ties, so I'm like, okay, let me give this guy a blue tie. I have good comedic timing. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. I try to get it perfect, you know, because I'm very particular with myself and my work and other people's work. I'm like, is this funny? Is this funny within the first 30 seconds or minute? Like, if it's not, then I'm like, or where's this going? So I kind of plan it out and, you know, make sure it's, you know, has like a build up, and then has like a, you know, and you know, a resolution to that build up, or like a satisfying conclusion. Secular Park lore being established. Maybe. Secular Talk animated universe. Maybe. The STAU? Sounds like a disease. STAU. Ted Cruz's beard is a mess. Yeah, it's very maniacal. It's very old looking, white, and maniacal. Okay, so let me get to let me pause the music. Let me get to this one. So this is episode 3.
I'm going to do a couple segments for you guys now. One of them on how Hillary Clinton can win the election and how she can basically lock it up. Stronger together! First of all, step 1 is you have to express sincere regret and apologize for bad positions that you've had. The Iraq War, you know when Hillary Clinton finally admitted that vote may have been a mistake? 2014. 2013 is when she finally came out in favor of gay marriage. It took you that long. So step 1 is apologize. Step 2, you have to lay out the areas where you're clearly better than Trump. So if you go out there and you say, when it comes to the Supreme Court,
favorite part,
I will nominate competent judges. You may not agree 100%.
Break down the barriers!
But I will appoint competent judges. Donald Trump has promised repeatedly.
Break down the barriers, because barriers are bad!
Donald Trump it would blow an $11.9 trillion hole in the debt. There is no comparison. There is no false equivalence. I am better, period. The third thing is, take his disqualifying comments and hammer away. So when he says, let's take out their families, he's saying kill civilians on purpose. But when he said, let's bring back torture, I want to bring back worse than waterboarding. Hammer away, that's disqualifying. He said he wants to pull out of the Geneva Conventions, called it, quote, the problem. And then the step 4 and the final point is, she has to stop running right immediately and stop taking big money. Stop taking big money now. You have to stop taking it. You have to stop taking it. So when you walk around and pretend like you're for the people, but you're just raising gobs of money from various billionaires and corporations, well, that's a slap in our face. So you have to stop taking that money. This is the strategy that would lock it up for you.
Stronger together!
accurate.
I'm going to explain how Trump can win now as well.
Stronger together, break down the barriers. Please vote for me.
So, What can he do to lock up the election? Well, step one is he would have to eliminate his most egregious shortcomings. So, in other words, dude, you got to study, you got to learn, and you got to get some policy basics. Like, what you're doing is beyond stupid. It's so beyond the pale and so ridiculous that you sound like a stupid person because, in all seriousness, you are a stupid person. Don, you have a low IQ. And I mean this. That's step one. Step two is, now you got to not do the polar opposite. So don't become a standard politician. Because then the Trump quality that makes you Trump and gave you appeal originally would be gone. So that's step two.
Also accurate. That is his phone cover. I checked.
Now, step three is, if he did nothing but say the words crooked Hillary Clinton from now until the election, he would have a good chance of winning. Because bottom line is, when he says that, it's true. I would have him continuously, over and over and over, crooked Hillary Clinton, crooked Hillary Clinton, crooked Hillary Clinton. Okay, just go on and on and on and on about that.
Tremendous, believe me. I tell you.
I'm surprised he never actually made
And
those
step
hats.
4 is, Donald, if you want to win, you have to copy Bernie Sanders.
What?
I love that part. Nudge.
Even Republican-based voters don't want you to cut Social Security, don't want you to cut Medicare, don't want you to cut Medicaid. And you try as much as you can to sound like Bernie Sanders. If you do that, I think he can win. As of right now, the race is basically tied. He's got a good shot. If he were to do this strategy, I think he'd do it.
We're going to make America great again. You want to know how I know? My business is tremendous. So that's what we're going to do.
Right now, a historic moment. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. CNN projects Donald Trump
We all
wins
did
the
this.
presidency. The business tycoon and TV personality capping his improbable political journey with an astounding upset victory. Donald J. Trump will become the 45th president of the United States.
This took forever. That's the third one. Obviously, you don't have the cards here because it's an MP3, but MP4, whatever. I have a lot to say about this one. So, like I've said, this is probably my favorite one because I think it's Ahmed from Egypt. Holy crap, dude! You're from Egypt? That's nuts. Welcome, brother. Welcome. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let me get the music. Ahmed, we're talking about all these cartoons that I've done because it's been like 3 years since I've done one. So I'm kind of discussing them, like the process and everything. So welcome, dude. So this was, I had this idea around the election. Obviously, these were the two candidates. And given that the previous one just had, like, this, it all kind of worked out really weirdly. Like, I didn't expect, when I did the Ted Cruz one, and he had a giant hole in his studio, I didn't know that he would be getting a new studio. And when I found that out, and this, I think it was around this episode that he was announcing that he was getting a new studio. So I'm like, okay, I need to destroy the old studio ASAP. And then it just worked out so well. It's kind of crazy when I thought about it. It's the universe was happening as I was doing this perfectly. It was weird timing. But anyway, so again, you see the tape on his little mic, because Ted Cruz ruined that. And then you have the background. So what would Kyle realistically do to cover that up? He put posters of Bernie out of it, of course. What else would a progressive do? I think I had a tweet about this. I just showed the image of the background with the Bernie posters with the hole, and I'm like, this is how a true progressive covers a hole in the wall. I think Kyle got a kick out of it. I got a kick out of it too. I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, this one I knew was going to be a big undertaking because originally I wanted. When did this one come out? This one came out a little bit later. This one I had been kicking down the road for almost a year, I think. Let me see. When did this one come out? Let me see. The Hillary one. This one came out November 29th, 2017. So obviously it was a year or so after the election. I wanted it to come out before the election. I wanted it to come out before, kind of colliding with the election, but that was just not going to happen. I kept changing this. I kept making it bigger and better, and I wanted to take my time with it. So, yeah, it took about a year a year of me kicking it down the road and dealing with life stuff and all that stuff. But yeah, so he had a segment of him talking how does Hillary win, or what does Hillary need to do to win, and what does Donald need to do to win. So I'm like, what if he's talking to their cartoon selves, and then their personalities come out to shine, and I thought that would be a great thing, but I knew it was this is gonna take a long time because I wanted it to be that involved. So let's see. So obviously I had to create the new models. I needed two new models. I needed a Hillary model and a Trump model. So I had to do Trump for the first time and Hillary for the first time. I'm actually really happy with how they both came out. Hillary especially, because I feel like I got the hair down. She always wears blue. When you Google Hillary, you see blue, a blue romper or whatever the hell that thing is called for women. Always wears pearls. Always has pearl earrings. The hair is always the same. She has very big bags under her eyes, so I had to make that clear. And it doesn't make her look too old. Doesn't make her look too young. I think it's pretty good for what it is. And then Trump, I had to do, obviously the man is orange. The man is very orange. And I don't know if people noticed, but I made the hands smaller for the running joke. And obviously the dude wears a long ass red tie to his crotch. So the red tie was black suit, red tie. The hair, trying different things with the hair, just making sure it looks like him. Looking back at it, I probably would have put a little more detail in the hair. It's a little bit bland. It's just one color for both of them. But for what it is now and as a beginning model, I don't think it was too bad. he's a little chunkier because I didn't want to use this same face because Trump is a chunky monkey. So I want to make it a little chunkier, give him a little cheeks. So I guess the models took a little bit. That was the first thing. And then once I did that, like, I think everything else kind of came into place. Like, this is when, like, doing a big ass storyboard and making sure everything's right, because it was like I wanted to do like 3 or 4 different sections where he's giving them like 3 or 4 different pieces of advice for each. So that obviously it's 6 minutes long. That's a lot. So obviously I wanted to start with Hillary, and kind of let their personalities shine, and also give him like a security dude. Like, luckily, like, security just kind of sits there, so I didn't have to animate this dude. He would just have to sit there and just, look like he's protecting, the candidate, which is obvious. Like, obviously the candidate would need protection. And then they bring a poster of them. Obviously, I think that was a nice little touch. I'm patting myself on the back a lot, but I'm just like, I'm very proud of this episode. This is like my crowning achievement, I think. Because I did a lot of research for this one. And then, like, Hillary obviously lost at this point. So I had a lot of frame of reference. I had a year into the Trump presidency. And just, like, over time, like, Hillary would just not take any blame. She would not take any blame for herself. And toward the end of the campaign, like, she would just not take anybody's advice. She would, like, have LeBron James on, and she would start dabbing with LeBron James. I'm like, she's not really listening, she's not really listening to, like, why she lost, or, like, toward the end of the campaign. And I wanted to highlight that. I wanted to highlight the fact that she wasn't listening. I wanted to highlight the fact that she was corrupt as shit, and it was all about money. And for some reason, I don't know why I came up with the UV money bag, but it was just such a ridiculous thing that, like as he's talking, what would Hillary be doing? She'd be either given money, or I was like thinking, like, just go nuts. Like, what if she's given an IV of money? I think it's IV or UV? IV, I think. It's just so ridiculous. And she's just like not listening because she's like getting high off the money, because she's just like all about money. She's very corrupt. And then there at the end, like, you see a little band-aid. I thought that was a nice touch because, she just got a needle stuck in her hand. Like, she has to have something to protect that. And they just keep talking. And then there was something, obviously, that needed to be highlighted. And that's the fact that she constantly talked about breaking down the barriers. And I thought, like, what if like, she's also, like, starts daydreaming. Like, she's just, like, literally dreaming about breaking down a barrier. And I'm like, how would Hillary break down a barrier in her own dreams? She would just throw money at it, because Hillary Clinton is well off. Like, she's fine. She doesn't need to worry about money. And this was actually something that I was also kind of proud of, because, like, the explosion effect, I had to literally do, like, a little graphic of, like, from start to end. So I googled a lot of like explosions, like animated explosions, like how do they look and what would they sound like and all that stuff. So I had to do frame by frame the impact, the explosion, and what would happen afterwards. Like, very smoky, die down, everything, and just, like, keep using that over and over and over again for the money. So I was kind of happy. That was the first time I actually did that, for, like, a looped reused thing, like a little thing, like, for a money explosion. So I kind of enjoyed doing this. The bubbles obviously bouncing around because it's a bubble. Like, I don't want it just to be stagnant. I wanted to, like, have some movement. She's, like, talking about breaking down barriers, and that was, and then she finally breaks it. She finally breaks the barrier. It's not that highlighted, but you kind of get it. Like, she's like all happy about it. And then in real life, it's like she's like imagining actually throwing those barriers, like throwing that money and breaking down those barriers. And here's another obvious one. So she's signing contracts, and I have like there's actual words here. It's like, you know, you scratch our back, we scratch yours, etc., etc. You have no say of your own. You are our puppet. We control you. You will do what we say when we say it. You will not do the bidding of the people. And she's just basically signing that. So a lot of reused animations here, but it makes sense in the context of like what I'm trying to portray. I'm trying to portray that she's not paying attention, and that she's just, she just wants, you know, move up on her move up for Hillary. So I had to reuse this, but it's something that bothers me about this. It's very nitpicky, but I wish I had organized this money, because if you're handing money to someone, you're not handing it to someone like this. Like, I think about this kind of stuff after watching it. It's just like a minor thing, but you know, she signs these contracts, she gets the money. Very, very Hillary. And then, like, you know, he tells her not to take corporate money anymore. And she freaks out because obviously it's been made very clear that she's all about money. So so she passes out, and I forget like where I thought of this idea that like, or I had to think of like, how would you wake her up? Like, what would wake her up? I think I might have seen like a show or something where like you know, you're waving something in front of their face, like making sure they, I think it must have been like a SpongeBob episode or something where like Mr. Krabs like passes out, and then SpongeBob like breaks an emergency glass, and he's like gets the money, and it's like a $20 bill, and he waves in front of Mr. Krabs, and he wakes up. I think I got the idea from that. Yeah. So then she wakes up, and she's just like, there's just like no self-reflection. There's just like, you know, stronger together, you know, all that stuff that she says. And then obviously you have the transition to Trump. So I had to move this dude out the way. And I didn't want to use the same model. I could have used the same model for the Trump security guard, but I kind of wanted to give it a little more personality. A little more, you know, change it up a little bit. So he gets out of the way. They were about to leave. You know, Trump comes in. So obviously these two don't like each other, you know, regardless of the fact that he's been to her wedding, and they were friends before this whole election stuff squabble, but so like, how would I get Hillary out of here? And this was past it, but what happened at the end of the election? Like, that Hollywood Access tape came out, and he kind of introduced himself with those Tic Tacs. So I'm like, what do the Tic Tacs represent? Well, according to Trump, it means like if he takes a Tic Tac, that means he's about to go in. So I thought that was something cool to include with the character, because it reflects in real life, unfortunately. So so he chews a Tic Tac, and she covers her private parts, and she just recites the same shit. And she's like, yeah, stronger together. Yeah, vote for me, please. That's it. That's all she got. So I thought that was a good breakdown of the Hillary character. She's very corrupt, and I kind of wanted to highlight that in this, and obviously the fact that she wasn't listening. You guys watched the episode, obviously, like, you'll notice that Hillary wasn't listening, but Trump was listening, and that's why Trump won, because he was listening to, you know, advice and all that stuff. So we have the new security guard. Trump's getting advice. I did the hands thing. I wasn't gonna do the hands thing originally. I was just gonna have him like sit there, but I'm like, every time Trump sits down, he just sits down like this, just every time. So I had to do a new hand graphic for this specific one, because it's just too perfect. Like, I had to do it. I had to do the extra mile. And you know, this is Kyle calling Trump stupid essentially, and you know it's not at the time, like he's still tweeting like madman, but like every time he gets criticized, like he tweets. So I'm just like, let me get him to grab his phone, like as he's giving him advice, and he's just like, you know, he's not listening here, but he's like he's so pissed off that someone would criticize him, someone would dare criticize him. So I kind of wanted to show that off, and you know, he would tweet, and obviously you can mention the person on Twitter. So Kyle's phone goes off, and sees what he says about him, and this took some. I wanted to make this perfect, so from different Colin Corrins, and obviously from watching his content, like the dude likes a big bahunk on the woman, badunkadunk, and I'm like, who has the best badunkadunk in the business? That would be J-Lo, and if you think otherwise, you're wrong. You're wrong. The woman is like 50 and still has a nice badunkadunk. So, and I don't know if this picture is altered, but I'm like, this is obviously younger J-Lo, but like, is this like a real picture? I was like, God damn, woman, that is a huge ass. So I wanted to take the best. Obviously, nothing to sexualize. I just wanted to highlight the fact that, like, you know, Kyle likes big butts and he don't lie. So what would be his screen cover? Or I had to think about what would be his screen cover. So I'm like, let's do a little funny. It could have been a bottle of seltzer. It could have been hundreds of different things. But I thought like it'd be funny to like just highlight the fact that he likes big butts. So, and who doesn't like butts like this? So, and obviously we have the tweet that he said. And basically, it's a fake news show on YouTube. You know, it's just very incoherent, like four-year-old like insults that Trump did. And Trump has said this to multiple people. Never watch. It's overrated, bad, sad, all that crap. It was kind of simple to do like an insult, because that's how basically what Trump does. He's just bad, sad, great, sad. And then these last few points, he actually gives him good advice. So he constantly tells him to, and I'm surprised Trump never did this, or he never released more hats, because I feel like people would buy this hat. And I'm very surprised that he never made this hat, this Crooked Hillary hat. Crooked Hillary, believe me. And I don't know, I thought it would I thought it would be a good hat for him to sell with the "Make America Great Again" and all that. You know, Kyle tells him constantly say "Crooked Hillary." What's the best way to get that message out? On a hat. So I thought that was a cool idea. And then we have a Kyle impression of Trump. And then he gives him this last piece of advice of copying Bernie Sanders. And then, like, in the actual segment, he kind of says, like, he's like, oh, heads would explode. And I'm like, would they? What if they actually did? So, you know, he gives them the advice, and I thought it was perfect, because we had the security guard here. I'm like, oh, it just worked out perfectly, because I was gonna have a security guard there, and I think I forget my thought process on it. I think I gave them the security guard for this one moment. I think that's what I did, because I wanted this moment. I wanted somebody's head to explode. Obviously, Trump's can't explode because it's Trump. It wouldn't make sense, because I still need him to be in the episode. So I think I gave the security guard for this moment, so it kind of worked out. I think that's my thought process. I wasn't sure, or it might have worked out in my favor. So either way, and this was kind of fun to do. Like, it's just like his head is just pumped full of air, it's just like expanding, and it just explodes, and you have a thud. And then this took a little bit. I'm like, okay, so the head explodes. So now what? Like, how do they get back at talking about like these serious issues after someone's head just exploded in front of them? So this was actually like one point in the episode where I was kind of stuck. I'm like, oh, what do they do now? How did they go back to what they were talking about? And I eventually just landed on like Trump would be like, just proceed. Kyle would be like, okay, now I need to just brush myself off and all that stuff. And then what would Trump do after he hears copy Bernie Sanders? He would follow him on Twitter. I thought that was a cool moment where I actually had to make a Bernie model. I have a fully completed Bernie model, front and side views as well. And I thought it was pretty good. I think it's a good Bernie. I think I can make it look a little older, but I think it's pretty good. The hair is disheveled, and I think it works pretty well. So I had to actually go on the Bernie Twitter, make sure it looks like the Twitter page, and then it'd be like a slow like, I'm gonna follow this dude, because this dude's telling me to follow him, and if I do this, I'll win. And then like Kyle fortunately mentioned, reflects on like, I'm giving him amazing advice, and if he listens, like, he might win, and he did end up winning. So Trump ends up giving him a hat, just says peace out, and then what happens? Trump ends up winning, and this again went back to the fact that like we have a new studio. And the next episode I wanted to, well, obviously this was a year after the election, so I wanted to get away from the old studio, because I forget when he got the new studio, but I think it was already established that he has a new studio. So I wanted to get to it already. I wanted to get to the new studio. I wanted to make it. I wanted to draw it, and just it kind of worked out too, because this didn't give me enough space to really work with. It's just kind of like the characters here, and then like you have this little space here, and like I wanted more room to play with. And I saw a new studio. I'm like, that would look great, because he has like 2 TVs. He's got like more open space, and I think that would be great for like more episodes. So I wanted to get away from this, and I'm like, okay, perfect. This is an election episode. What would Kyle do to the old studio? He would think like, yeah, this is bad memories, and also to illustrate the fact that Bernie would have won. What is the best way to show that or illustrate that? He would throw gas on the studio in the shape of Bernie would have won. So actually I used a live action clip of CNN projecting it, because I didn't want to animate it, or I didn't want to I guess at this point I'm just like, I need to wrap this up. So I'm like, okay, what's the best way to do it? So we got a video of just CNN projecting that he will win. And then you hear the news, and like obviously his hair is all messed up. He hasn't been getting much sleep, because that was a long day for everybody. He just doesn't want to hear it. He's just like, I'm out. He takes the mic, and then Bernie would have won. So this again was another thing that helped me with the Hillary money explosion. Doing the fire, making sure all the fire is moving organically and moving pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously Bernie would have won. I think that's a good note to end the old studio, as it highlights it's like an end of an era kind of thing. And I might go back to the old studio. I have ideas where I could go back to the old studio. But yeah, this was a very, very heavily planned episode. I remember there would be weekends where I would get home on Friday, and I would literally not do anything that entire weekend. Like the entire week, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I wouldn't do anything. I would literally be working on this all day, from Friday night to to late Friday night. Wake up, jump into this. I remember I have like memories of just working on this, working on the Hillary one, on the Hillary section most notably, and then the Trump section. Like I just remember, I remember where I was at. I was here obviously, but I'm like working on this all day, just constantly pumping it out, trying to go. this is before I was live streaming. I would have loved to like live stream and talk about this as I went with you guys, but I'm glad I'm doing this now because I can kind of have an audience and talk to you guys as I do it. But yeah, there were multiple weekends I would do that. I would, like, just not do anything, not go out, like, and just work on this. Like I was excited to make it, and that's why it came out so well, because I want to make this good, because this is a milestone in American history right now. Trump is our president, so yeah, I wanted to take my time with it. So I don't think there's anything else to say about this. Yeah, I working with, you have to understand, working with different characters is very difficult, because Kyle wasn't that difficult. Like, you know, I had the audio would be placed for the lip syncing, so, but the characters would have to react to what's happening. So as he's doing this, I had to make sure Trump would align perfectly with the end of like statements, and then, like, you know, he would react, or he would give him a hat or something. But I'm like working with 3 characters on screen. I'm like, damn, this is difficult, but it's like pushing me. I like it. So, because I'm usually used to like Kyle and like one other person, or Kyle himself. So this was the 3rd one. So I always try to go bigger and better in each episode. I think that's the best way to do it. There's a video game developer called Naughty Dog, and their philosophy is like, we always try to one-up ourselves with every game that we make. And I kind of took that to heart. I'm like, that's a great way to think. And their games show off for it. But I think this was definitely pushing me. Like, the script had to be tighter. The characters had to, you know, look the part, and they had to interact with each other. You know, given that the 3rd character is a security guard, so it was a little bit easier to swallow. But, like, you know, when the security guard's handing Hillary like a contract to sign, or doing that, or, you know, putting a band-aid on her, I had to make sure it's all timed well. So that took a lot of extra work, but I think it really helped me, you know, further develop like a full-fledged cartoon, and help me like organize it better and plan it better. So I think this was a defining episode for me. And yeah, it's like I said, it's my favorite one so far, because I have great memories of working on it on the weekends and just pumping it out. Like I was excited to show this one off. I really was. I didn't think I could top a Ted Cruz one, but I think I did top it with this one. Let me see. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, and I think at this point, or I think by the Ted Cruz episode, I think like Kyle would retweet it, and you know, he you know, comment in the comment section, and he eventually started to follow me on Twitter. I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. He's following me on Twitter. He's interested in my shit. So I think that's like something to take away from it. Like, if obviously, like I would watch live streams of him, and people would ask, oh, follow me on Twitter, and he'd be like, yeah, I might, and you know, he's not. He's just trying to be nice. But if you want someone famous or like internet celebrity that you respect to follow you, like, you know, make something for them, do something for them, and you know, maybe one day they'll end up doing it, because I didn't expect that. So it's kind of cool. Like, if I had told him, if I had like messaged him like and DM'd him like, oh, follow me, I'm making something for you, like, yeah, that's not really how it works, you know. It's like, it's more, what can you offer me, or what do you do? Like, show me what you're doing, and if it's interesting to me, then I'll follow you, know, kind of thing. But that was something kind of cool by this time. Like, he started following me and all that shit. But actually, I have to tell him to get this episode on his channel. He started to post the animations on his channel at this point, and the first one and the second one are up. This one's not up there. I don't think this one's up on his channel, but he started to put them up on his channel. So that was also something cool. That got me more exposure, so that helped out a lot. But But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to this. We're gonna talk about the fourth one. I'm gonna grab some water because I've been talking a lot. My mouth is very dry, and I want to get to your guys' messages. Yeah. So this one will be the Jeb Bush one. All right. Let me read your messages, and then while I get the water, I'll play the episode for you guys. Let me catch up. Ahmed, can you do a cartoon for me? I guess message me, Ahmed. Message me and or leave me a comment and let me know what you want to do, and I'll see. Cause kind of busy at the moment with these projects and work and everything. But message me and then I'll see what we can do. I'm so glad Hillary would go down as the biggest loser in history to lose to Trump. It's kind of embarrassing. Like it's Donald Trump. Like he's a reality star, and he said like something dumb like every 5 minutes. So yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. It's also embarrassing that people think like we have to elect like Biden or like another centrist. Like we had the ultimate centrist against Trump, and she lost. Like, and you want to do that again? Like, it's just there's just no self-reflection. Like, it's kind of crazy. Hillary won't lock up his BFF, but he expected to win, in my opinion. I think he did too. Like, there's pictures of him, in the election room or in the wherever he was, and he's just literally sitting down, like as he's being announced, like everyone's clapping for him. He's just like literally sitting down, like, what have I done? What have I done? I had a great life. So I don't think he wanted to win either. I just think he kept up with it. He's like, oh, Hillary will probably win. But yeah, now he's up for re-election, so we'll see. In fact, she won the popular vote, so she really did lose. Electoral college or something. Yeah, she did get more votes, which is weird. Like I don't get the electoral college and that system. Like someone can get more votes, but they can win like this other system and still lose the election. It's a very weird system. Trump himself thanked her in the victory speech. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was definitely weird. Definitely a weird year, 2016. Please try to do a Trump persona or voice. That's my Trump mannerisms. That's all I can do. But break down the barriers. How about I can't talk. Anthropomorphized seltzer bottle with a huge badonka talk. So like, that would have been funny. That would have been funny to do like a seltzer bottle with like big boobs and big ass or something like that. I don't know. I think it would have been weird, but I think J-Lo's J-Lo's second best. Millennial Gamer, how you doing, buddy? Welcome back. Get seltzer as a sponsor. I don't like seltzer. I tried it on stream and I didn't like it. So they can keep their money. Make better seltzer, and then I'll consider it. Joe Biden is gonna faceplant seltzer. Yeah, Joe Biden is smartly staying out of the public ire because he just says like a dumb thing every time too. He's very touchy, but I don't know if that'll work for him. So we'll see when the debates happen, because that's when you really got to know, like, and Joe Biden ran for president like 2 times or 3 times, and he lost every time. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird. Why would you run for president? You don't have to. You're vice president. Just fucking chill, man. Let other people take a shot at you. You're just vice president. Jesus Christ. The guy at my work who's a big Trump guy unironically listens to Alex Jones. He still listens to Alex Jones after Jesus Christ. Where do you listen to Alex Jones nowadays? Like, how would you listen to him? Does he have a podcast? Because he's banned on YouTube, banned on Twitter and all that. Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. I don't know what that is. That's a sport thing, I assume. Is that basketball? Is that basketball? I don't know. Your Trump's good? Yeah. Thank you very much, Catherine. I'm pretty proud of it too. It's very orange. I should make him more orange if I ever do him again. Hillary blew a 99% winning. 90%. I mean, people would say like 99% she would win. I'm like, the polls are like very close. The polls were kind of right. Like the polls were like at 3% margin of error, and she had a 3% lead in the polls. I'm like, that's the margin of error. Warning signs. Like, yeah, it was crazy. Always try and top yourself. Yes, that is a great motto to take. And it has to do with like creative stuff. Okay, guys. I am going to grab some water because I'm parched. But I'm gonna play this episode for you guys. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about this one after.
I saw a tweet earlier. Jeb Bush is telling everybody he's probably not going to run again. Jeb. Literally nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody. Mom. Yeah. I don't think we need another Bush in there. Oh, gosh, Mom. Gosh golly, Mom. I mean, here I was all excited to launch my campaign, and then you come and poop all over it. Can you go out there and say that you were just kidding? Oh, yes, I didn't mean it. My Jebby would be a wonderful president, and I think it's the right thing to do. And by the way, that Donald Trump is being so mean to my boy. I'm going to call his mother. Jeb, you're so sad. I'm surprised a man with such charisma wasn't able to win the White House. He's got no charisma, and his policies suck. He's got nothing going for him. There's nothing about Jeb Bush that isn't funny, except his odious policies that would have fucked everybody in the country over, because he's a loathsome asshole who defended his brother's record, including the war in Iraq and all that other stuff. But outside of the war criminal apologetics, there's nothing about Jeb Bush that isn't funny. With Jeb Bush, you get super boring, and you get a guy who sucks with policy. It's a lose-lose. Please clap. Please clap.
I can promise you the best way to show respect outside of rebuilding our military to men and women in uniform is to fix that mess as fast as I can. That's it. Thank you. They're kicking me out the door. They're kicking me out the door.
Governor, thank you very much for joining us today. I believe your schedule has a hard stop. There are more.
I won't be out there blowharding, talking a big game without backing it up. I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap. Please clap. Please clap. Please clap. Please
Subscribe.
And that was for so this one came out May of 2018. So the last one came out November And then this one took a couple weeks. Again, it was just more of me, you know, kind of kicking the can down the road. These they don't take that long to make, but it's just like finding the time and all that stuff. So it was like a 6-month, 7-month gap. We'll get to that, Murdoch. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah. So this one, there was a segment I watched about Jeb Bush where the segment this is based on, where he was pretty much roasting him. You know, he was just saying bad shit after bad shit about him, and it seemed like a roast. So I'm like, what if he said those things like in a roast style? Sorry. So obviously you have to look at roasts like the Comedy Central roast and things like that, but I didn't want to make it that raunchy. What he was saying was obviously policy specific, so it had to be, you know, very truthful, very, you know, to his face kind of thing. So I thought the light would be a nice touch. And kind of just saying it to his face and just watching the reaction of him. Let me get the music up. There we go. And hold on, let me go over it. And obviously this is the start of Big Seltzer, because there were just people constantly asking me, when's the Seltzer episode? When's the Seltzer episode? And I had to throw it in, and it kind of worked out. Because in the segment, Kyle was actually taking a drink of something. So I'm like, what if that drink was just seltzer? It has to be seltzer, right? It was like water or something. Who knows? But you know, I thought like the like real life imitated art that day, because I saw it and I'm like, this is the universe is again telling me like. He's taking a drink in real life, and like, why not introduce like a drink that everyone keeps talking about that's very subpar in my opinion, and very bland and very not great. So I did that, and this was actually over the winter break, I think it was in December, I started planning this out. And I obviously had to do the new studio, so I was like excited to do the new studio. So this is the first debut of the studio, and I think it looks really nice. I think, you know, the TV stand looks really realistic with the with the light and everything. These soundproof whatchamacallits are, you know, pretty good. And we have more room to play. We have 2 TVs. Nowadays he's gone back to the one TV, but I think I'm going to keep it like this going forward for future episodes, because you could do a lot with these TVs. You know, there's a lot of room to play with that in whatever way I decide to. So I think I'll keep it open, and I think I'm going to have the Kyle Clancy show is it decal? Is it like the neon light he has? I'm going to include that. So it's like going to be a best of both worlds of the current setup that he has, and then the previous setup that he worked with for a while. So I'm excited for moving forward. Obviously the Politicon episode, which is coming in tomorrow, by the way, is, you know, Politicon at Politicon. So we're not using the studio, but I am excited to get back to the studio and you know, see what hilarity ensues. And so this one, yeah, I again, I wanted to highlight multiple characters, and I think I was much more confident going into this one because I had worked with it so long, and I think this is the first one where I really illustrate movement. It's not just like static, like they're just sitting there. It's just like, you know, there's a lot more movement involved. Actually, let me do this. Yeah, let me use a space bar so that freaking thing doesn't come up. Yeah, so there's a lot more movement. There's a lot more happening. Obviously, the characters are still talking to each other, but I think I illustrated that well. And of course, we have the debut of Barbara Bush. So a couple things about Barbara Bush. One, I never thought I'd be drawing a cartoon version of Barbara freaking Bush. That was, I think, if you asked me when I was a kid, like, I think if I went in the past and I told my kid self, like, as I'm drawing my own comics of like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, in the future you will do an animation about Barbara Bush, and I might not know who Barbara Bush was at the time, even then, but yeah, I would just be like, well, you're crazy. This is you are an antichrist come from the future that is just gonna start the Terminator franchise in real life or some shit like that. But yeah, I think she was essential to this because Jeb and his mom had a very, very close relationship on the campaign trail, and it was illustrated then. One second, I'm gonna just put up my standing desk because my ass hurts. Ugh. Oh. Standing desks are low key or are very underrated. They're essential if you're sitting all day. But what was I saying? Yeah, so Barbara Bush, I mean, him and Jeb, her and Jeb would, they would be constantly on the campaign trail, and like he would be like talking with her. It's like, oh, Mom, I'm so great, aren't I, Mom? And then Kyle obviously did a great impression of like what he would say to his mother, and for his mother himself. So I'm like, I have to include the mom, so I have to do a mom, and I have to do like I don't know how she was, like 70 80-year-old woman, and illustrate that. And obviously I went with the design that I have. Like, she would always wear a scarf, and she always wore black, and so I kind of want to I guess that was like a simplistic art choice, because it kind of imitates like the clothes she wore, kind of similar to Hillary, where she always wear blue and everything. And it's funny enough, I would take a lot of things from Hillary: the pearl necklace, the the pearl earrings, and whatever. So yeah, I kind of like how the model came out. It's not 1-to-1, but it's good enough. It's an old woman, and she looks like, she's dressed as Barbara Bush, so I mean, close enough. And unfortunately, this was while I was doing this, Barbara Bush was still alive, but she actually passed when I was going to release the episode, or when I was wrapping up. And I'm like, oh crap, like, that sucks. Like, say what you will about the Bushes, like, it's, I don't wish death upon anybody, especially a woman that I had no idea about. And I mean, she did, the sons would do terrible things, George Bush, but I don't wish death upon anybody. I wasn't happy that she passed, because I didn't really know much about her, and I don't think I would really think about it if I hadn't have done like this episode, like in the end times of her life. It didn't impact me, but I was just kind of like, just give me more perspective, I guess, because I didn't really know who she was, but I was drawing her at the time. So I'm like, damn, this person that was alive that was drawing is dead now. So I'm like, shit, it's kind of crazy. So I actually had to delay the episode. I wanted to delay the episode by like a week or so, or like I think like a week or two. I forget what it was, but I think I delayed it a week, where I finished it, and I wanted to, out of respect for her, because Barbara Bush doesn't look bad in this episode, but I didn't want to release a Barbara Bush episode when Barbara Bush was passing, and it was like all the range in the media and everything. So I wanted to give us some time to just chill, and I continued like other projects and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like a weird time. Like, again, I illustrate this point of like the universe telling me like that this to do this, and then now the universe is like, yeah, this person is going to pass while you're, you know, kind of parroting her. So it was, I feel like every episode some universal thing happens where it's like, yeah, do this, or this is gonna happen, or whatever. So it was kind of crazy. It was kind of sad because obviously it's Jeb's mom, and they seem pretty close, and I'm pretty close with my mom, so I would be pretty upset if, you know, something happened in that sense as well. Like, so, you know, you kind of feel bad for Jeb a little bit. So that's also why I wanted to kind of delay it out of respect. But, you know, that was just my thinking about it. You could have a different opinion, but that's how I thought about it. But anyway, getting back to the episode. So we had to illustrate Barbara Bush, and she was you know, obviously this is the impressions and everything. I like the movement that I gave Jeb. It's very, like, you know, cartoony and very whiny. It's very like and then she's just kind of listening, and then obviously, you know, kind of does an impression of Barbara Bush, and she's like, yeah, yeah, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean any of that. You know, obviously doesn't mean it because she's like looking at the sky and everything, and Jeb is like, oh yeah, my mom's here to defend me and everything. So, and this is when it gets into the parody, or not the parody, the roast, and then so I'm thinking like how does you know, I thought it'd be cool if, like, you know, the light would appear like a roast, or like a comic, you know, doing some stand up and everything, and you know, just snap your fingers, and then actually I had to use the Trump hands. Last episode I did the Trump hands. I'm like, it kind of looks like a snap. It's like kind of thing. So I had to like illustrate that. So I thought that worked out as well. And you just go into the roast, and so I kind of wanted to figure this out, because like, what was I gonna have like audience members clapping? But I kind of went against it, because I think, you know, he goes on about his record. He just pulverizes record. So I think it would be better to illustrate it like to his face, you know, letting him know like, hey, you know, you supported this and you supported this, and it would just feel bad. He went kind of in. Kyle went kind of in on him. So I'm like, kind of wanted to feel bad, and like the things he's saying, like the mom just snickers and like, you know, no, I'm just kidding, son, I'm here for you. Yeah. So you know, the roast is over, and then, you know, this part was kind of weird, because it kind of looked like, in the beginning, it kind of looked like Kyle and Barbara Bush were like looking into each other's eyes, and I was like, that's weird, man. That's weird. And so I kind of made it like Kyle was like, you know, do you have any words? Do you have anything you want to say, Jeb? And then, you know, the mom's interested, like, oh, what are you gonna say, son? What are you gonna say? So I stopped thinking about so much the Kyle Barbara aspect of it, and more like the Jeb, what do you have to say now? And then, like, obviously the guy is like, please clap, and that's like that will forever be his character, like in the real world. Like, he said please clap to a campaign event. I'm like, dude, that's terrible. That's awful. And then, you know, he says please clap, and then and he kind of like moves his head around, and he's like, you know, please clap, like, give me a break, and like all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to illustrate that as well. And then here, a lot of people have said weird things about this. Like, you know, Barbara was like, you know, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. You know, a mom will always be a mom, you know. And then I wanted to get them out of the picture, but to answer your question, Murdoch, no, they did not go back to what's the PG version of what I could say. They didn't go to pork. They are not porking. They just kind of, I take it as like they just went off screen. Like, you know, Jeb obviously is, you know, had enough of this. We'll leave him alone. I thought it was a cool effect with the mic. Just, you know, he tosses the mic, it just bounces off in his head. Just kind of the further emphasize, like, oh, we all feel bad for Jeb, but he just says some crazy things. And then here was the icing on the cake, because I wanted to, since it's a roast, I wanted to highlight the fact that to further embarrass him, because, you know, it's a roast, you know, you don't pull punches. So we have the 2 TVs now, so let's use them. So, you know, Kyle puts up clips of Jeb Bush and his greatest moments, because I remember TYT and Kyle did a compilation of Jeb Bush, the best, the worst of, or the best of Jeb Bush, when he announced he was stopping his campaign. And there was a lot of sad and good shit in there. So I'm like thinking, like, what if Jeb Bush is watching Jeb Bush? Like, that would be the final kicker. Like, you know, Jeb feels bad because he's like, oh, why did I say that stuff? You know, and it's just like, oh, it's just like watching a politician flub, and just watching him watch his like own embarrassing words is probably the worst thing you could do. So, that's why I went with that. And then obviously the police clap, like Jeb is like, I'm not gonna let this get me down. But then he's like, oh, I'm saying this stuff. Oh my God, I can't take it. And there was like a weird effect that was playing with the eyes. Like the eyes were like going from like in the center to like expanding. Like, so they were like very derpy eyes. And I was just like playing around with that. Like, I need to put this in here somehow, because it's just like a weird thing. So I like, he's slowly just spacing out. He's like, oh, I can't believe I said this, and just freaking the hell out. And then he obviously claps when he hears himself like say please clap and all that. And this moment, this like, I wanted to emphasize the please clap. So I'm like, you know, we hear the please clap again, and then he's just like internally ingesting it. He's like, sees it in his eyes. This effect took a little bit. I had to take it in Premiere, post animation production, and do a little editing with the zoom in of the eye. It took a little bit, but I think it's, you know, I think it was a nice effect. It was worth it. And then, you know, he's just kind of shrugging it off, and I wanted to further push the fact that everyone's trying to attack Bush, and I wanted to highlight the cards. The cards that are highlighted in the at the end of the episodes that I do. Like, what if the cards just started like appearing in front of me? He couldn't go anywhere. So you have the one card with the previous episode that I do, and then you have another one with the original segment, and he's just like trapped, and even the subscribe button appears. And then like I wanted him to say please. Like, instead of like, you think he's gonna like please clap, but I wanted to say please subscribe. But there is no audio of Jeb Bush saying subscribe, clearly. So I kind of tried to do a voiceover of subscribe, and I adjusted the audio a little bit. It doesn't sound at all like him, but I just wanted to emphasize, like, you know, please subscribe. Yeah, but you get the point. You know, it wasn't the best attempt, but I thought it was fine, and I went with that. So yeah, overall, this episode was the beginning of the new studio. So I enjoyed drawing the new studio, you know, playing, you know, having a new playroom, as you will. Like, we introduced Big Seltzer. So we did a lot in this episode, and not a lot of movement, but it's just a lot of talking, a lot of you know, character reactions and things like that. But you know, after this one, I felt more confident. I think after this one, I felt like the most confident, like in my animation skills. And 3, I felt pretty confident, but I feel like this one, like, you know, everything was smooth. Like, it looks good. The background, the background emphasizes that, and I was pretty excited for going forward with this. And then jumping into the next one. This one I don't really have any stories of working weekends and nonstop weekends. I worked on it as I went, and I do remember working on Barbara Bush's model for an entire weekend, rigging it and animating it and all that stuff. I remember I tweeted about that. I'm like, this weekend I animated 80 or something 92-year-old Barbara Bush, former white First Lady Barbara Bush. What did you do this weekend? And people would be like, yo, I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah, but I enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed it. So yeah, this was a fun episode to do. Introduces the Jeb Bush character as well as the Ted Cruz character, which is a staple in Secular Talk universe. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say about this one. This one actually has, I think this one has the least amount of views out of all the cartoons. This one has 0 dislikes, which I'm very surprised at. Let me see. This one has 3,000 or 3,200 views, and that's the least amount out of all the episodes. Aside the April Fool's one, which we'll get to, but it has 0 dislikes. So, I mean, I'm making fun of Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush is in the title. Clearly, I guess that kind of shows you the power of Jeb Bush. Not even conservatives really like him. Because the next one we're going to talk about, the Tommy one, has a bunch of dislikes, and I think that's mostly attributed to Tommy fans and stuff. But we'll see. But this one, not much else to say. Pretty fun. I think it was well planned out with Jeb Bush's character. I emphasized the character. I brought personality to him, his animated self. So let's talk about the next one. Let's talk about episode 5. Let's see. Okay, let me get to your messages, and then we'll watch it, and then we'll talk about it, dudes. We'll talk about it. So Murdoch, to answer your question, Kyle and Barbara did not pork. They just went off screen. That's it, bro. That's it. Malayo Gamer, welcome back from Walmart. I hope you Walmart is clutch, man. Walmart has everything you would ever need in life. Love the Kyle Modern Warfare 3-wave. Yeah, he's been using that wave for a long time. Now he has that new image for the logo and everything, but that Modern Warfare 3 wave is classic. You low-key miss Alex Jones. It was good theater. Well, I'm sure you could watch Alex Jones in whatever capacity he's in now. I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure he's still out there. We need an Alex Jones character, Gay Frogs. Funny that you mentioned that, because I don't have a actually I have many segments. I think I have many ideas in my idea folder for Alex Jones. So I think I could do one day. There's plenty of material, but it's funny you say Gay Frogs, because I think I wanted to emphasize Jones as a gay frog. So I would have a little frog character with Alex Jones's voice, and he would have a hairpiece like Alex Jones, so he'd be a frog, and then the frog would say Alex Jones things, but then act gay, because the gay frogs. That's that was kind of my thought process with how do I portray Alex Jones? I'm gonna portray him as a frog, and the frog's gonna be gay, and he's gonna resist being gay, but he can't because he's a gay frog. So something like that, something silly like that. Tommy's hot until she talks. I mean, sure she's attractive, but it's just she just spews nonsense. Like, it's just, that's not attractive. That makes her unhot. That doesn't make her hot anymore. Like, you could have like a very beautiful woman, but if you have the personality of a gnat, like, you're not hot anymore. Like, you're just, I've had that happen. I've known very, very attractive women, and like their personality is very bitchy or very like one-sided. It's just all about me. And it's like, that's not hot. Like, you went down a peg. Like, I don't see you like a attractive woman. I see you as like a piece of shit. So that's just me. But I should do a Kyle and Tommy wedding. I don't think, after seeing this, I don't think Tommy's gonna go anywhere. I think Tommy's gonna have a character arc as well. That's kind of what I want to do with these characters. Give them like a portrayal. But let's watch the Tommy one, because this is another of my favorite. I think this is my second favorite. Outside of the third episode, I think this is my second favorite. Let's watch it.
Tommy Lahren, the right-wing TV host on Glenn Beck's The Blaze Network, has been suspended by Beck. So here's what happened. She basically came out as pro-choice. Then there was backlash as a result of that. So let's look at her comments, and then you're going to see what she said this week. It's a little bit different.
The pro-choicers are supposed to be about rare and safe abortions. That's how they avoid sounding like straight-up baby killers, by acknowledging abortion is not a positive thing and a difficult choice.
No, I'm pro-choice, and here's why. I am a constitutional, someone that loves the Constitution. I am someone that's for limited government, and so I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say I'm for limited government, but I think that the government should decide what women do with their bodies. I can sit here and say that as a Republican.
So that was an awesome flip-flop on her part. But now, let's take a second here to watch Glenn Beck's response.
Hello, America. There are two things to discuss on this Tommy Lahren dust-up. One of them is her employment at The Blaze. I don't hire people who have my opinion. So I would disagree that you're a hypocrite if you want limited government, and yet you want the government to protect life of the unborn. The pen is mightier than the sword, and it can destroy people if your aim is clicks, views, and ratings.
So he's basically going after Tommy Lahren for saying, look at you, trying to get clicks, views, and ratings. Dude, you're Glenn Beck. It's too late, though. She's already a giant star, and it's going to backfire. And so, in a weird way, I'm actually on Tommy Lahren's side. That felt gross to say.
This is my favorite part.
You are a snowflake.
And that, my friends, is special snowflake syndrome at its finest.
On Tommy Lahren's side.
On Tommy Lahren's side.
This is my favorite part, actually.
How dare you! How dare you!
Snowflake.
I really like this one, actually. Rewatching it, I really like this one. This one's definitely close. This one's definitely like it might be my favorite one. Like, rewatching it, like it's close to 3. It's close. People say that the trilogy, there's no good ends to a trilogy. I mean, this is not a trilogy, but the third one I think is the best. So, yeah, this one I again wanted to. Let me get the music back up. Actually, hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Where's the music at? I'm getting some messages, but we'll get to those later. So, this one I wanted to highlight another personality, and at the time, Tomi Lahren was, let me see when this one released. So the last one released in May 2018, I think it was. And then this one released October of that year. So the Jeb Bush one was May. This one was October. On Halloween, actually. And I kind of played it up like, this Halloween, Kyle confronts the Snowflake Queen. So yeah, I wanted to highlight another, prominent commentator. And, at the time, Tomi was, in the news a lot. So I'm like, let me do Tomi. And what is Tomi's, MA? Like, what is her thing? Constantly calling people snowflakes. Constantly. Regardless of, the hypocrisy that she spews. Like, which is here about abortion and how she flip-flops. And, I kind of wanted to do, like, a Frozen thing with Tomi. Frozen and like the queen of the snowflakes, essentially like Elsa and Frozen, but like for snowflakes. I wanted to have command of snowflakes, so I wanted to like slowly get the point across, like snowflakes are coming out of nowhere, and then they're slowly like what? They're like coming to life. They're like alive. So that's kind of what I wanted to illustrate. This episode did get wordy. Actually, I'll go into that with the Glenn Beck stuff. But these parts, like, we would just hear Tommy's point, and we're using the TVs. We can use the environments now. So I like this joke a lot. I don't like to pat myself on the back, but I like this joke a lot. She, that's an awesome flip flop on her part, and those are pretty awesome flip flops. Like, I would buy those flip flops. I would buy those. I would try to buy those. So he mentions like it's awesome flip flop in her, and then we get to the Glenn Beck part, and I had to listen to Glenn Beck. Oof, like this is like it was like a 5-minute rant or something, and I had to make it not as wordy because I wanted this. Obviously, Glenn Beck's going to be talking, but I wanted to illustrate like here. That he's Kyle's discovering like there's something up with these snowflakes, like where are these snowflakes coming from, like where's it coming from, and why are they falling, and then suddenly realize they're alive, they're trying to attack me. So as the audio goes on, like he discovers like these things are trying to attack me and all that crap, and he throws a flip flop at him. Then goes back. I had to make sure that the Glenn Beck clip was long enough that I can do like some funny animation with it. So I had to make sure that it wasn't too long because he went like a 5-10 minute rant. So I had to cut it up perfectly to fit, like for it to end, and then for to get the point across, and then for it to be long enough to do something funny with it, and then Kyle would comment on it. And then so basically this episode, like Kyle. The point of this episode is Kyle in the segment, he defends Tomi Lahren from Glenn Beck, basically defends Tomi Lahren. And I'm thinking of like Peanuts or Snoopy, where like Lucy is constantly making fun of Charlie Brown, but she secretly loves him. And that dynamic of, she's a little obsessive, but she doesn't really make it known. And I thought to turn that around to like make Tomi like that character that like falls in love with Kyle because he defends her. And I'm like, that could be an interesting, arc for her, I guess. Like, Tommy's not one to really be defended much, I assume. And I think it'd be funny if, Tomi hears that Kyle's defending her from Glenn Beck, and then like she just like falls in love with him. So this is the part. This is the payoff. So I was playing again. This episode was getting very wordy. It was almost like a very long segment, and then stuff would happen. But I didn't want to make it too long. I wanted to cut back because lip syncing is annoying. So I wanted to cut back on it. And I think I got my point across, and it was just long enough to what I wanted it to be. So then obviously here's the review. Like, obviously up to the point as, you know, you watching, like, you realize that there's something up with these snowflakes. And then he doesn't notice it, but like you see a bunch of these snowflakes coming down, and like oh shit, like what's going on here? And I kind of like this little piece where he's like throwing up in his mouth. He's like, it's actually 1-to-1 on the audio, so I'm like, I need to make the cartoon version like hold it back as well. So I like that little piece of animation. It's very subtle, but it's very cool looking. Yeah, then you see like the snowflakes are like obviously let me get the music. Where's the music at? Music. Oh my god, we played all the copyright music. All the chill music. Yeah, we've been streaming for like 2 hours already. Damn, we haven't even got to work yet, but what was I saying? So yeah, here's pretty much the big reveal. These snowflakes are sentient. They are with words. They can speak. And you know, obviously, what are they gonna say? You're a snowflake, you know, because they're Tomi Lahren's minions, I guess you could say. And then the big reveal. This took a lot of planning. This model, not only did I have to do Tommy, and it took me a while to kind of get the look of Tommy right, because she's like a blonde chick with, you know, makeup, and she wears a lot of blue. Like I Googled her, and like she always would wear like these blue from top to bottom. So I'm like, okay. And I didn't want to put a dress on her, because if I put a dress on her, like, you know, Kyle's looking up, he'd be like looking up her skirt. So I was like thinking about that. I was like, yeah, so let me give her pants. And she doesn't really wear a skirt. Like, she would wear like a blue outfit like this. So I thought it was perfect, like, to do this. And then the hair, like, obviously I had to make each hair strand, like, you know, it's kind of like dandruff, I guess. Like, it's just like from her hair, she's just like spewing all these snowflakes, because she's a snowflake queen. And then she hears Kyle defending her, and she's like, something up with this guy. I kind of dig it. And you know, she calls off the minions. Lets Kyle breathe, and then she's like, I like this guy. And she's just like, yeah, she just falls in love with him, because, you know, he defended her. She doesn't get that a lot. And this part came to me like while I was doing it. I don't think I did storyboard this part, the safe space. So this was kind of, you know, Me Too is a big thing, and I didn't want to make it like she is assaulting him. I didn't want to portray that, but she would like try to lunge at him, give him a hug, you know, Lucy-fy him. Like, you know, Lucy would always try to give Charlie Brown a hug, or Helga from Hey Arnold would, you know, always love to hug Arnold or whatever. But she can't. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, she can't do it because her safe space is on. She always talks about safe spaces. So what if a safe space is just like a barrier? It's like a barrier from like hearing things that you don't want to hear. And let me just portray that like a shield. Like, it's just like a thing you can turn off and on. Like, you know, people say like, oh, people have to go to safe spaces if they you know, they're not treated right or whatever. And I thought it was perfect to portray it like a shield, something you can turn off and on. And then, you know, she can't do it because the safe space is on, but once she turns it off, safe space goes away. I thought it was like, that's a great touch. Like, again, I don't want to pat myself on the back or suck my own dick, but I really like that portion of it. That it's not a character trait, but it's just it works with what it is. Like, it's, you know, portraying a safe space, I guess, the best way I could have in an animated form. So I'm really happy with it, Kim. I actually would watch that scene, like just that bubble and that sound effect, like pop yourself in your safe space. Like, I would watch that multiple times, because I was like, I want to get this right. So then she jumps on him, you know, to do nothing but give her a hug. And I like this little effect with the table slamming after she hugs him. The papers are jumping up. I thought it was a good effect. I like how it flows. It looks good. It looks authentic. So, you know, doing animation and making it look like it would happen in real life. Like, you know, bump your head, like the stuff would just jump up and the papers would flow and whatever. It's very satisfying to see that stuff. Here it says, "How dare you?" Again, I didn't want to show anything. But originally, I'm thinking like, what if she stuck her finger up his butt, or what if she like tried to use an actual snowflake as a sexual item. This is what I was thinking. Obviously I didn't portray it, but like, you know, it could be like, "How dare you jump at me? How dare you?" And originally, I was gonna have Kyle say, "Me too, me too." But I thought that was a little too much. It was too, what's the word? It wasn't, obviously it would be topical, but I don't know. I didn't want to, I guess, disrespect the what Me Too is, in this sense. Like, I didn't want him to illustrate that like he's being assaulted. Like, I guess people would think it would be funny, but I don't know. For me, it was a little too far, I think. So there was a clip that Leon actually sent me, the guy who does Kyle Out of Context. Like, I talk to him sometimes, and he had this clip of Kyle saying, "How dare you? How dare you?" I forget what the context was. We see this out of context, obviously. So I'm like, yeah, what if he just screams, "How dare you? How dare you?" And then like you can interpret it however you want. Like, you know, the fact that she jumped him, the fact that she like invaded his personal space or whatever. And then you just see her floating on the snowflakes, and then calls him a snowflake because like he's like running away, like maybe he's a little intimidated by a very aggressive woman kind of thing. So yeah, I think this episode was I wanted to portray Tommy in a certain light, in a certain animated light. You know, obviously with Jeb Bush and Ted Cruz, they have their own like character traits. I think I did a great thing with Tommy's character in animated form. So I'm really happy with how this one came out. Again, it was a lot of talking. There wasn't too much movement, but I think it flows better than the other ones. I think I took the criticism of the first two to heart, where it's sometimes the characters are very stagnant. They're very static. They don't really move too much. I kind of wanted to, you know, take that to the next level. So I guess Tommy's hair in this episode would be the thing that pushed me, because that hair, the flowing hair with the snowflakes and everything, that pushed me, like getting every strand of hair to animate and you know, getting her look together. I think that's what definitely pushed me in this episode. But yeah, I love the thumbnail for this one. I love like what I'm building with, like, you know, the fact that Tommy's like in love with Kyle, and I think I've portrayed that in 6 as well. Like, she's still in love with him. There's a little cameo in the 6th episode you'll see tomorrow. I'm sure most of you guys have seen if you stuck around here, but yeah, not much else to say about this one. Yeah, I just love like that, like the sound effects and everything. I do this one. I played more with sound effects. Like, I tried to add sound effects for everything, for like the snowflake wishing and everything. I didn't want to just go. I wanted to give it like sound, and like she's bopping her head with the safe space, and you know, playing more with audio and just having fun with like this shield sound effect that like the shield's coming down. I found that online as well. Like, I think it gives more personality to like or more character to what's happening. But yeah, this is the Tommy episode, and I don't think we'll see the last of Tomi Lahren in the Secular Talk Animated Universe, and I wish I knew how to make flip-flops, because I would make these flip-flops. I need these flip-flops in my life. But let's go to the last one. Let's go to episode 5.5, the April Fool's episode. Let's see. 5.5. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So, actually, let me catch up with your messages. See if you guys said anything. She's the most annoying millennial side, Ben Shapiro. Yeah, she's pretty annoying. Ben Shapiro is also pretty annoying, but she's very loud. She's very angry. Very angry woman. She needs to chill. You should have him turn into Gay Frog from drinking water. Yes, that's the Alex. It's going back to Alex Jones. That's there's something in the seltzer. That turns maybe he's the frog on his desk. He's just spewing Alex Jones talking points, and Kyle just tries to shut him up by putting a glass of water and covering him, and he's in a tube of water, and he drinks it, and he's his eyes flash, and he turns gay or something. I don't know. That's the problem with Alex Jones episode is I literally can't listen to the man for more than a minute. His voice is just he sounds like a dead frog. He sounds like a dying frog. He sounds like a frog. He's just it's nails on a chalkboard for me. So I don't know how it would deal with a full episode of Alex Jones. It would drive me. But I mean, I did one with Glenn Beck. I did one with Ted Cruz. I did one with Tommy. I'm sure I can muster up the energy. I did one with Trump twice. So I'm sure I can muster up the energy for that, but we'll see. For a conservative, she sure likes blue. I mean, yeah, that's true. She doesn't wear a lot of red. She wears a lot of blue. Maybe because she's on both sides of the issue with abortion, but who knows? I have no idea why you would say that lip syncing is annoying. No, I had no idea. I mean, you guys have an idea now. I'm sharing my pain with you. I'm sharing the pain that I go through with these episodes. So hopefully you guys have a better understanding of what it takes to really do one of these and the amount of time I put into it. There's something in the seltzer that turns people to lesbian stalker. Interesting. Maybe I could have the same episode where Alex Jones, the frog, after turning gay, inhales the water and spits it at Kyle, and then it transforms Kyle into a lesbian soccer coach. I think that's a good one, Murdoch. That's a good one. See, I think that's the episode. The episode of Alex Jones will be Frog pestering Kyle, talking points, Alex Jones craziness. Kyle tries to shut him up with a glass of seltzer or a glass of something. Alex Jones ingests the water. It turns him gay because that's his conspiracy. And then Alex Jones just acts like a gay frog around him, and then spits the water back into his mouth or back at Kyle's face. And then Kyle all of a sudden transforms into it's poof, or it's his hair grows a little bit, and then he just gets lipstick, and he gets breasts, and he just turns in, and then a soccer ball appears out of nowhere, and he's just what's going on? And then that's the episode. That's we just wrote a script, guys. We just, with your help, we wrote I think we wrote the Alex Jones episode. That's pretty good. I'll have to get to that one. But I promised Corin I would do a Kyle and Corin, and if I didn't do one, he'd be hella triggered. But I think we'll get to it. Let's remember that one for Alex Jones. Let's remember that one. she's a liberal in the closet. She might be. I mean, she was on both sides. Like we just saw, she was both sides of the abortion issue. Pro-choice, pro-life. Like, it's talking shit about pro-choicers, but taking the pro-life positions. It's weird. Okay. So, let's see. Was this? Yes, this was it. Okay. So, this is not episode 6. So there's quite a story with this one. So this was the April Fool's episode. But softball's not football though. Coming next year. Hopefully not, but we'll see. We'll see. I have other plans, but we'll see. So before we play it, I kind of want to give some context with this one. So originally, it was like the day of April Fools. I had seen a number of animators that I follow. They did an April Fool's episode. And obviously they're known for like their specific animations and everything. And they released an episode that was a joke. The thumbnail was of what it wasn't about. And obviously it's because of April Fool's. So I saw this literally at like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. I got to work. And lucky for me, I didn't have too much work going on, so I had some free time. And I'm thinking to myself, should I do an April Fool's episode? Should I do one? And I thought to myself for a little bit, I'm like, yeah, do it. That'd be great. It'd be great if I could do it, but I have to finish it today. So I literally had to do an animation in like a matter of hours. So this is what I came up with. Let's watch it, and then I have a good amount to say about it. Let's go.
Stronger together! Please clap. 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 Stronger, please, stronger, stronger, please, stronger, please, stronger, stronger, together, 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 together. We're stronger together.
The big reveal. All right. So that's what I call episode 5.5. So obviously, let me get the music going. Obviously, I had been promoting with you guys that I've been doing episode 6. It was going to be the Kyle and Politicon debate. I've been promoting it, like updating the fact on Twitter that I was working on it and stuff like that. So I'm like, I need to play on this. So I had to make a thumbnail. So this is this is actually be the thumbnail for tomorrow too. I thought it was good enough. I didn't really want to change it. I didn't want to do anything else to it. I thought it was good enough. So I had to create a fake thumbnail and portray it as like a Politicon episode. Whereas you guys know what the end result is. You guys helped me out a lot with this one actually, and I really like how it came out. So I had to promote it, like it was the Politicon debate. But the thing is, I didn't have access to everything. I didn't have access to like every model or whatever. I didn't have access to Tommy, I don't think. Actually, I didn't have access to Hillary, but I had access to Ted Cruz and Jeb Bush. So I wanted to add like a quartet, like a best of their character arcs. So what does Ted Cruz do? Obviously the man. What does Jeb do? Please clap, obviously. What does Hillary do? Stronger together. So I didn't have access to the Hillary model unless I redid it. So what I literally did is I took a screenshot of her doing something in the YouTube video. I took a screenshot of it and I cut it out in Photoshop, and I literally had it like as a paper, like puppet, which is like, you know, instead of like a fully animated one, because I didn't have access to it. So I just had them say their best lines, and Jeb Bush is not even properly lip sync, but I was like, I need to rush this out. What can I do quickly? So I'm just gonna like, yeah, these three are just gonna like constantly just like harass the user with their nonsense. And then, you know, I was thinking, I have this picture of Seltzer. I'm like, yeah, let me just have it come out of nowhere for no reason. I was really being goofy with this one, but I wanted to play like, you know, what do the audience what does the audience expect from a Secular Talk cartoon? Like, you expect like nutty politicians and you know, Seltzer. And then they kept doing that, and then like I'm thinking to myself, like, what else? How do I end this? So I'm thinking to myself, what if I show Kyle's legs? Because it's like a joke in the community, like he has no legs. And I remember I posted an image of Kyle, of the character model for Kyle for the cartoon, and I showed the legs by accident, and people were like, "Yo, what are you doing? You're showing the legs. You're showing the legs." And I was like, damn, even the cartoon Kyle can't show his legs properly. I thought it was kind of funny. So I'm like, yeah, what if he just like hovers down on the on seltzer bottles, and I just show the legs in like epic fashion. And actually this music that I had to like remember. I'm like, I know it's like the dawn of time or something like that. And then so I wanted to like, you know, prop it up, and like, oh, something epic's gonna happen. And it kind of is, because he's showing off the legs and he's just like smiling. He's like, yep, I have leg, bitches. Could have done more with it, obviously, but I didn't want to just sit on this. So I'm like, how do I get this guy out of here? I'm like, Tommy Lahren. She's in love with him. She tries to jump him because she's in love with him. You know, that character trope. Yeah. And then we did the Charlie Brown voice. It just worked perfectly. It worked out pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. And then obviously I had to tell them, like, hey, guess what? Episode 6 is coming soon. This is not episode 6. This is, I guess you can call it 5.5. So yeah. Took me a few hours to do this, but not as long, but because it was very simple. But I'm kind of glad I did an April Fool's episode, because I would actually have people in the comments be like, oh shit, you got me. I thought it was, because I think the title of the episode was Kyle debates Ann Coulter at Politicon 2018, and I guess people thought that this was actually the episode, and then people were like, oh, you actually got me. And I'm like nowadays it's like hard to get you an April Fool's, because if it's on April Fool's Day, you're, at least my head automatically goes to like, everything is false, everything's not true. But I guess I had the luxury of not uploading that much, and you know, when I upload it means something. I guess I've done that for 5 episodes, where like, if you know, I'm showing the episode in it's gonna be the episode. You know, I don't think people thought for a second like, oh shit, it's on April 5th, must be coincidence, because it's like animations take a long time and all that yada yada. So I was surprised that like people were got, because I'm like, it's April Fool's, your brain should all make it turn to like, this is a joke. But I guess not. I guess some people are like, oh, this is the episode, I can't wait. And then yeah, turns out I did a funny April Fool's joke, and I'm, you know, who's to say I won't do one again? But I can't do the same thing. I can't promote it as like the next episode is something else. I'd have to do something different because some people might be get, but I don't like to do the same joke twice. So, yeah, I literally had a few hours to do this one. Otherwise, it would have been too late, and it would have been the next day. So, yeah, April Fool's episode. Didn't think I would ever do one, but kind of glad I did. And we got an epic thumbnail from it that you guys helped out with. So, yeah, that's pretty much. And when did this come out? This came out 2 months ago, and April 1st, obviously. April was 2 months ago. Shit. So I guess coming soon means 2 months. Oops. But yeah. I guess it's like a little bonus episode, little teaser, kind of thing. But yeah, those are all the Secular Talk episodes, guys. Hold on. I kind of want to show this off because I love how all these look. One sec. Ted Cruz. This is 2. This is 4. Oh boy. 4. 4 can go here. Yeah, so technically we have 6, but that's okay. Oops, wrong one. These are all the episodes, or all the I don't know. Looking at this, like, kind of blows my mind. The fact that we have all of these. Let me see. So yeah, these are all the episodes. Let me see. Would you do any TY2 cameo appearances like Cenk or Anna? That's funny they mentioned that because I actually did want to do. I had a plan for a Justice Democrats episode. Unfortunately, like, as I'm thinking about it and as I'm doing other stuff, like, they dismantled. You know, Kyle, you know, distanced himself from that, and then Cenk also did, because that whole, like, allegations and everything. But I kind of wanted to have, like, you know, Kyle was like the boy wonder, and Cenk was like a Batman. Like, just, you know, Justice Democrats, you think of superheroes. So I was thinking, like, maybe, like, you know, Kyle's doing a segment, he gets a call from, like, Justice Democrats, and then goes off screen, like, in his, you know, costume and everything. And then, like, you see, like, I'll animate Cenk, like, doing something, and then, like, Cenk will get the same call, and he'll, like, you know, abruptly stop his segment and then rush off screen. And you'll see Anna there being like, the fuck's he going? And then, like, you'll see both of them, like fighting crime, and or like doing some kind of like Batman intro thing where it's like, you know, they do the pow, fuck corruption, all that. That's something I would have done with Jenk and Anna, like a cameo. Like I might do them down the line, a cameo. But right now I don't really have an idea for it aside the one I just told you, and I don't think it would make any sense right now to do that because it's like they're not a part of the organization anymore. But it would get like their name out there more, so maybe down the line. Anna's Catwoman. Yeah, Anna could be Catwoman or Batgirl or whatever. And I give him like funny outfits, like Kyle would like have he'd have a mask and like a cape, and then like it would be like, you know, the seltzer sellout or something like that, and Jank would be like I don't know, some funny superhero, almost super Uger or something like that. I don't know. It's off the top of my head. I don't know. It was a thought. I'm not gonna do it anymore, but that was an idea I had for Jenk and Anna to be like cameos. But yeah. So these are all the episode titles. I love looking at this, like like it just shows like my progression from like the beginning to the end, because at the beginning I'm like, what do I animate? What do I do? Like I want to animate, but I don't know what to do. And then I just did it, and like this just shows like my like looking at these titles, I see like growth. I see like a lot of growth. And they might just look like titles, but like I know in the moment where I was like during each of these episodes during production, and it's like it's crazy where we've come, and we've only done 5.5 episodes really. Like I think I'll do this again when I do another 5 in the year 3000, when I have another 5 episodes done. I think I'll do another of these and reflect on the past 5 for you guys, and I think that'd be a cool thing to see where we're at in another 5 episodes. Because we have 6 coming out, then I have a good idea for 7. Then we could do, you know, another 3 more. Or this would be, it'll be 6. Yeah, another 5. So yeah, this is my story. This was how Secular Talk was made, and I hope you guys stick around for more. It's gonna be a good future. We only have 5 down. Hopefully here's to another 5 more and beyond. But that is my story. Yep. I think we've said all we have to about it in like 2.5 hours. So let me see. How you guys feeling? You still want to hang out? Are you tired of me yet? Because I was thinking I wanted to do I wanted to rig the Corrin model. If you guys aren't sick of me yet, I will. I'll consider. I'm a bit tired, but I guess I could rig it, or I guess I could. Yeah, let's not rig it because I'm kind of beat. I kind of want to get some sleep early tonight. Let me show you guys the model so you guys can, you know, give me some feedback or whatever. Let's see. I would love to see something ripping on Rave Dubin. Maybe we can do that. I don't have any. I don't think I have any. It's not even 7 a.m. yet. Well, Murdoch, you're on the other side of the world. Like, like what's if I'm tired? I can't imagine what you're feeling. What about the surfing Pikachu animation? Oh, so you want an animation of me being molested? Is that what you want? Is that what you want to see? You sick bastard. Oh man, it's funny. Yeah, like I've said before with the surfing Pikachu, it's like I want to do another series where it's like me doing story time animations, and I think that would make a good story. Call it Age Your Stories or something like that. I think that'd be fun because they're pretty big on YouTube, and I think it would get my juices flowing in other aspects because, yeah, I have plenty of life stories, funny life stories, nothing serious, because there's a lot of people that do they'll do animations of like their history, their story of abuse or whatever, and how I can molest them. Well, as I'm saying about real world shit where people actually got molested and talking about it, we're like joking about how I might have been molested by a man giving me a Pikachu, but that aside, like I think I have some funny stories. Like I have an internship. My first internship was horrible, and I think it's an animated story in of itself. So I think that would make also a good one. I have other ideas as well, but I think the more like I do Smash Brothers cartoons. I don't know if you guys have checked those out as well, but doing those gets my juices flowing in other aspects, and I think I take everything I do like from the other, like, so the knowledge I have a Sekiro talk I can take to like a Smash Brothers animation or like a story animation or whatever, because I'm more comfortable. I'm very comfortable just jumping in, like, it takes a long time doing a story and everything, but I'm very comfortable tackling a new project, whereas versus before I was questioning, can I even do this, like what should I even do? And now I have like so many goddamn ideas that I want to get to each of them. So I guess secular talk kind of did that for me, and that's kind of cool. In other aspects as well, like taught me about politics and what's good content online for policy, talking about policy and everything. The Adru Chronicles, Adru Animated Chronicles. Kiddo, you want a flying Pikachu? Yo, they have flying Pikachus as well. That's why that joke's funny. Let me see. Hold on one sec. I'm actually. Let's see. I have my animation stuff. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, so I think I'll show you guys the Corrin model, and I think I'll call it a stream there. We've been streaming for almost 3 hours. This is like one of the longest streams we've done, and we haven't even done any work. But I hope you guys found this interesting. I've been, like I said in the beginning, I've been wanting to do this for the vlogs and just talk about the reflecting on the past 5 episodes. But I'm glad like I can use this this forum here, or this platform of live streaming, and then take the content and or take clips of this and then make it like a piece of content. I think that'll be cool and easier, I think, instead of let's see. So yeah, I guess I can talk to you guys about the story real quick. Corrin Pixel episode templates. Okay, so this is Corrin. This is Corrin's stupid face. Actually, we'll use it for context. This is Corrin's face, and here is Corrin. Also about the surfing Pikachu. The kid looked like Ash, right? Well, Ash hasn't aged well ever so well. You're right. Maybe he still looks the same. He still looks the same. He's just waiting on flights for people that get pushed to first class, and to help them get their surfing Pikachu, as he calls it. His finger up my ass. This is his surfing Pikachu. Let's see. Can I? Okay, wait. Yeah, the program's just taking a little bit to open. Like do like super friends. Yeah, I could do like super TYT friends or something, or super TYT, because Kyle's part of the network. That could be a thing, and maybe I'll get like other political commentators involved, like David Pakman and Sam Cedar and all that. Maybe they could be a part of it. Here's Corrin, guys. What do you think? You think I nailed it? You think I nailed the Corrin? Obviously we have the spiky hair, but he has like shaved sides, so like this is like shorter, so it's like skin, it's close to skin. He called that guy that kid a guy that looked like Ash. He called that kid a guy that looked like Ash, so I was confused. Yeah, he was like a kid my age. He looked a little older that looked like Ash Ketchum. I like Ash. Yeah, I remember you said he's like Ash, like Ash, like Ash in the Winds, like no, he's like Ash Ketchum. Yeah, that was funny. Yep. This is Corrin. Yeah, so something I try to do with different models, a bit more beard maybe. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Yeah, because he obviously has the beard that's shown. But let me see. This is like an opacity. Let me see. Yeah, that's too much. Could do like something like that, I think, or more. Let me see. 75. Oops, we're not even targeting it. Here's something like that. Maybe. But I don't know. I kind of liked how it was. Oops. Let's see. So what percentage is this? 50? Yeah, I guess I'm showing him with a shaved beard. I don't know. Yeah, I'll play around with it, but you know, more or less, I have his features. I have the hair. There's like this brow in like the center of his head that just extends. It's like a mark, and like I try to like illustrate like specific points or specific attributes of people's faces when, you know, doing simple character models. And you know, he's these circular Michael Jordan-esque ears, so I try to show that off as well. His skin color, and the beard, obviously, and like he has like big cheeks, so like I tried to like put these marks here to kind of just portray cheeks. Like, you know, I think it looks pretty good. And then the shirt is just like a Knicks shirt, Knicks color. I didn't want to do Knicks because I don't know, it's kind of I didn't really like how it looked, and I just kind of did it like a subtle nod to like the fact he likes the Knicks and shit. But yeah, this is the Corrin model. All I have to do next time is I'll rig the model and I'll get it ready for animation, and then we can talk about what to do next. So since you guys helped me with the Alex Jones episode, we'll end the stream in a few minutes. I just want to go over this script. Where is it? Oh, actually, I didn't write it down. I had it. I had it. I had it illustrated. I had the storyboard written out. So we're gonna be pretty much taking it from Colin Corrin 62. So I don't know if you guys want to go listen back to that episode, Colin Corrin 62, at the 50-minute mark.
What's up, you Willy Wonka bitches?
Let me see. 50. Actually, maybe I could put that in the episode. You Willy Wonka bitches. Maybe. Let's see.
If you take Wolf Blitzer or Hoda.
Okay, so at the 50 if you guys want to go back and, you know, maybe if you have an idea you want to run through me, but at the 50 mark, the 50-minute mark, for like a minute or two, they talk about
or fucking Savannah.
They talk about the free market and they talk about Wolf Blitzer. They talk about like, what if Wolf Blitzer started a YouTube channel? And I think that would be kind of interesting to do, kind of illustrate that. And I have a script I'm happy with, but I think it could be better. So if you guys have any idea, if you listen to that segment and think of a funny thing that could happen, just tweet it to me or leave a YouTube comment or something. But yeah, that's gonna be the first Concorn. The Concorn is gonna be what if it's gonna be titled Wolf Blitzer's YouTube channel, and just if you watch that 50 that segment, actually we're here now, so let me play it for you guys. And if you guys have any ideas, like throw a tweet at me or a comment. Instead of making you guys...
What's up, you Willy Wonka bitches? I don't know what that means.
Just say he approves of the hiring.
Yeah.
When he's the guy you just fucking fired.
Oh, shit. God damn it. Motherfucker. Okay, one more time.
Are vegans healthy? Are vegetarians healthy?
I
French fries and beer are vegan.
What's up, you Willy Wonka bitches? No dollars, no ad budget, no name recognition. You gotta work from the ground up. So in a sense, everybody on YouTube is really fighting in the free market. You know what I mean? Because there's endless options out there, but then people choose to watch you. If you take Wolf Blitzer or Hoda or fucking Savannah Guthrie or whoever and put them on YouTube,
that's who it was.
People be like, fuck you. So it's like, it's almost like
Wolf Blitzer trying to start his own fucking YouTube channel.
He'd get 8 viewers. It'd be 8 viewers. It'd be the saddest thing ever. It would be 100% dislikes. Everybody would click dislike. Everybody would be trolling him in the comment section. So it's like, but what's so annoying is that just because they're on TV, they're like held up. It's like, oh, let's have a conversation. Who replaced Matt Lauer? Who replaced? Yeah. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. You can't, you can't make it in like a real fucking setting where you're actually competing. You're propped up by a giant fucking corporation with billions of dollars in revenue and a giant ad budget that can put your fucking face on a billboard over I-95. Like, even...
Yeah. So, I have a pretty decent idea of what I want to do with that, but, that'll be the context. Wolf Blitzer will be sitting in his room on a computer, and, on the computer... You see 100% dislikes. You see trolling comments. Kyle and Corin are like, telling this to him as he's like surfing his YouTube channel, which is bland as shit because it's Wolf Blitzer. So if you guys have ideas, shoot them at me. But that's the context. Yeah. We'll work on that tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll rig the Corin model, and then we'll finalize the script. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to end the stream, guys, because it's been 3 hours. And it's like my mouth kind of hurts from talking so much. I've been talking for like 3 hours straight. I don't know, my mouth kind of like hurts. It's weird. Hi, I'm Wolf Blitzer. I'm a big deal. And today's story is my feelings. That's a good one. In today's story is my feelings are hurt. Hi, I could use like those robotic voiceovers to like, hi, I'm Wolf Blitzer. I am a big deal. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll end the stream there, guys. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, premiering the 6th Secular Talk cartoon. I'll be in the comments if you guys come in early. I'm doing a premiere, so I'll probably be there like 3:45 Eastern time. Chilling and chatting with you guys as the episode goes in. Yes, this is the longest stream to date, definitely. 3 hours. 3 hours just of me talking. I licked the microphone. Yeah, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We'll end it there. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. 9 p.m., 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern. Murdoch, whatever that is for you, I'm sure it's very late. But yeah, we're gonna do one every day, Monday through Thursday this week, and just see how it goes. See if I can stick with a schedule as well as hit the gym as well. Get back to it. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys have a good night. Murdoch, good morning. And yeah, see you guys. Peace out.